Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Good to see you, champ.
Yes, sir.
We were just trying to figure out how long it's been. When was the last one we did together? I think it was 2017. Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe might have been 16.
Yeah, I
Shit.
think yes.
Was it really?
No.
Number 71.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
he has the
crazy.
data. So he's got it. I was like, maybe we just got punched to the head a little bit too
A
much.
little bit. Well, listen, man. I want to tell you that that fight with Usyk was one of the craziest things that I've ever seen in my life. Never in my life did I think a guy who would go straight from kickboxing. Did you have any professional boxing matches?
One.
One
But
professional.
I've been boxing for 15 years.
Of course.
But
Well, also, you're arguably the greatest kickboxer of all time.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And you have a fight with arguably the greatest boxer in the heavyweight division ever. He's in the conversation.
100%.
100% in the conversation of the
100%.
greatest boxer in the heavyweight division ever. And you won 10 fucking rounds, man. You won 10 rounds.
Yes, close to that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a fuck what those judges were saying.
No.
Those judges were trying to say it was close,
Yeah.
like it was almost like you were up. I think one of them had you up by 1 round,
Yeah.
and the other ones had a draw.
Yeah. I think that's.
That's a crime. If that
Yeah.
went to the scorecards and somehow or another you lost that decision, that would have been a crime.
I know.
Crime.
I know, and I gotta be honest. I think, like, we're just straight jumping into it. So, and like, I think that's the hard part of it. It like, I don't like losing, but I don't. If it happens, it happens. But I think that's the part that that makes it even harder. It felt so unjust, and
It felt unjust. The stoppage felt unjust. It didn't seem like it made sense.
No,
It
but
looks like they
next-
were
but-
looking for a way to stop the fight.
exactly. But next to that, like, you say this as a combat sports commentator for years, and you've been in the sport for so many years, and all other professional boxers and commentators, etc. They all see the fight a certain way, like you saw it, like how I experienced it, and then when we look at the scorecards, we get like a totally different fight. Like what is going on there? And that is for me where the toughness is of the whole experience.
Right. It's very difficult to accept. And if you had lost by decision, it would have been insanity. And we've seen those insane decisions before, and I never know what's going on. You know, I don't want to think it's corruption, but it's almost worse if it's incompetence.
Yeah.
If you have someone who's judging a fight, which is like the most pivotal fight, arguably, of your career. You think about how long you've been reigning as the heavyweight champion of kickboxing. For like a decade, which
Yeah.
is crazy at the highest level.
100%.
Like, especially at the heavyweight division. It is so hard to stay at the top.
Yeah.
Nobody does. Everybody's like, even in the UFC, it's like 1-2 fights,
And then-
they fall off.
Yeah.
For you to be the heavyweight champion and have fucking wars like Jamal Ben Sadiq, that fight,
Yeah.
like some of these fights that you've had, wars.
Yeah.
And to come out on top every single fucking time.
Yeah.
And then you have this enormous fight and you have terrible judging.
Yeah.
Terrible judging. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's almost worse if it's incompetence, because if you've got these people that don't know what they're watching and they're calling it, like their eyes, their decision makes a difference about whether it's a W or an L, and it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair. It's not right. I think at this point in time, they should really seriously consider having alternative scoring. I think there should be
100%.
more. One of the things I like about Glory is that Glory has more than 3 judges. What do they have, 4 or 5?
5, I believe.
5.
Yeah.
I think 5's the right number. I think 3 is too few.
Yeah.
Because you could have 2 people fuck it up and one person gets it right, and then. But if you had 2 more judges, the odds are they're going to get it right too.
Yeah.
Usually the people that fuck it up, it's the minority.
Yeah. But if you ask me, like, next to us as athletes putting our health on the line, which makes it very, very hard thing to cope with, but also for the people watching the fight.
Right.
It's like, it like you said, it feels unjust, And I definitely feel like, especially in the time that we're in now, everybody wants transparency. If we look at the World Cup that just finished, like even there, when something happens, the referee is still a person. He can make like a mistake. He can look at the foul and he's like, I saw it this way, but now what they're doing, they're looking at the VAR. They're looking at the cameras.
Right.
And multiple people are looking at it and like, hey, we can interpret it, the rules like this. Because this happened, we can see this, and this is wrong.
Yeah.
So even it's going to be a card or it's going to be a penalty or whatever, this is what's happening. But within this situation, it's just like, if you ask me, and it's still possible, it's a human being, the referee made a mistake. And that is possible. But there should be people or a situation where it's like, hey, sorry, ref, but you made a mistake. This wasn't the right call. So we can overturn it in a split of a second.
The only thing that's really hard to do with that subjectively is fight stoppages. Because sometimes, at least in MMA, a referee sees things in a fighter that you might not see things watching it on television or sitting at my seat as a commentator. A referee will see a guy's eyes roll back in his head. He'll see something that I don't see, and I'll go, oh, I thought that was a little quick. And then, but they're right on top of it. They see certain things that you might not be able to see.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I appealed it. And everything we appealed upon, they said, like, you guys were right. We got stopped after the bell.
Yes.
Right after the stoppage, the doctor came. I wasn't disorientated. I didn't have no concussion or whatever symptoms. So everything we got, they were like, no, you're right. But
they never overturned it.
They never overturned nothing.
Well, also, how would they overturn it? Would they go to the judges' scorecards? And if they did go to the judges' scorecards, what would it be, a majority draw? Because if you are down or you're even on both cards and then up on one, and then did they count the knockdowns in the final round? Because if they did, you might have lost that fight, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
Look,
but then you have something like, hey guys, let's look at the scoring cards again, and let other judges look at the scorecards and look at the fight and score it again, because
well, here's what you know
it
it's
doesn't
crazy.
make any sense.
Here's what you know it's crazy. It was the most competitive fight of Usyk's career as a heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And they're not even talking at all about a rematch.
No.
That's kind of crazy. Right? Isn't that kind of crazy? They're saying Deontay Wilder, which all love to Deontay.
Yeah,
but Deontay is not Deontay Wilder of 2019.
No.
He's a different guy now.
But that's a good thing that you just brought that up, because before this fight, you heard the whole conversation. Okay, we're gonna do Rico. After that, I want to fight the winner of Dubois Wardley, and after that, I want to fight Tyson Fury again.
Right. You don't hear
The other two are not in the conversation anymore.
Yeah.
So, without taking too much credit for it, I think like with this fight, he saw like, this was a little harder than I expected.
Yeah.
So let's take a different route. And for me, I don't want a rematch just to have the rematch. I would like the rematch because it makes sense. There's a story within this rematch.
It's huge.
And it's something that it is unfinished business.
Yes.
And for
it's
me,
a Rocky story,
exactly,
a real live Rocky story.
100%. And that's why for me, where I'm looking at now, I'm like in the fall of or maybe in the winter of my career as an athlete. And I just want to do big fights that make sense. And then you're like, ooh, this is what I want to see.
Well, not only that, as a promoter, what makes more sense than that fight?
Yeah.
The Deontay Wilder fight, again, all respect to Deontay. I love that guy. He's
Yeah.
one of the greatest knockout artists
100%.
in the history of the heavyweight
100%.
division. He's not the same guy.
No.
He's not the same guy. For whatever reason. It happens to everybody, right? I think he's 40 now, right?
Yeah.
It happens to everybody. You just got off of a crazy performance.
Yeah.
And the whole world got to see it. If any fight warrants a rematch, it's that fight.
Yeah.
That fucking rematch would be gigantic. It would be so huge. It's the ultimate Rocky story. I was watching that fight on the edge of my seat.
I love it.
The fight starts, I'm like, how's this going to go down? How's this going to go down? I'm like, whoa. First of all, I'm like, holy shit, Rico's fucking huge. Like, you realize how big you are. And, you know, Usyk is a cruiserweight. He's a cruiserweight to put on weight.
Yeah, he's a
to become
build-up cruiser, yeah.
He could still make cruiser.
Yeah.
If he wanted to get really lean, he could still make
100%,
cruiser easily.
100%.
You're way bigger than him. I'm like, that's a giant factor. And then it's your experience, your world championship level experience. You've been in so many big fights.
100%.
You look so calm and so relaxed and so in the moment. And I was like, holy shit, he might pull it off. And then it got into like the third, fourth, and fifth round. I'm like, I don't see this changing. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
It was so funny. If you hear the commentators, they were like, okay, Rico's moving a lot and he's feinting and he's doing this and he's doing that. But how long can he keep this up?
well, they don't know about your cardio.
Exactly.
That's the thing
There was one commentator that also commentated for Glory.
Well, Alistair was there.
Yeah, he was also there. But the commentator for Glory, that he knew, like, that cardio-wise, I live in the gym. That's what, and you know as well. Like, I love this. So I'm never gonna lose on cardio, because then I lose for myself. So
No, you're an anomaly in terms of like 260-pound men.
Yeah.
There's very few guys that are as big as you that push a pace like you did. So I wasn't. When they were saying that, I was like, you guys don't understand what you're seeing here. He's going to be able to do this all night long.
Yeah.
And credit to Usyk for finally catching you and rocking you, but the fight was stopped too quickly.
Yeah.
It just was.
Yeah, 100%. And
you were still okay. You got in a world championship fight that's that close.
if it just
Not even really that close.
No.
You were that far ahead. You got to give someone a chance.
Yeah, but let's reverse it. Let's
Right.
reverse. What if he was in this position?
There's no way they would stop that fight. No way. Look, it's either incompetence or corruption, and I tend to think corruption. This is what I think these guys want to keep judging fights, and they want the favor of the promoters, and the money is in Usyk.
Yeah.
Usyk is a huge name. He's their big star in
Of
the
course.
heavyweight division.
They don't want like a guy coming in from a different sport and
One professional boxer.
exactly, and
match.
making the biggest upset in boxing history. That would be that would be pretty crazy.
It
but
really almost was the biggest upset in boxing history. I mean, it was crazy. It was really crazy to watch, man. But you were the perfect guy to do it because of the pace thing, because of the fact that you are so big and you can push that insane pace and keep it up for the 12
and
rounds.
also game plan wise, we were so smart on the game plan. We did something that he has not seen before, that he has not experienced before, even though he fought the best boxers in the world. But all the boxers, what they were trying to do is outbox the heavyweight boxers. Were trying to outbox a cruiserweight. How in the hell are you going to do that? He's lighter, he's smaller, and he's faster. So how are you going
and
to
he's super technical.
Exactly. So how are you going to outbox him? So you just got to have a super strong game plan, and that's what we had.
So when you looked at it, when you first got the offer, first of all, how far out did you get the offer? How far out away from the fight? How much time did you have to prepare?
Well, do you know the story how I got into this whole thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a crazy story. Okay, let me tell you. So it all started with the Canelo Crawford fight, and Jason Statham is a good friend of mine, and I saw he was in Vegas for that fight. So I texted him. I was like, yo, you were there for that fight? Oh my God, yeah, this is gonna be crazy. So we went back and forth. And he's like, yeah, bro. So he told me, brother, you need to be in boxing, because he was at the tournament when I did the 8-man tournament a few years ago, and so he comes to my fights, and he's like, oh, you gotta be in here. You gotta kill these guys. I said, yeah, I think I could do pretty good. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna throw it out there and let's see what happens. Okay, so that was, let me see, there was Vegas time during the day, so Amsterdam time, it was nighttime. So the next morning, I'm on the treadmill, I'm running. The phone rang. Jason. So, yo, bro, I'm on the treadmill, let me call you back. Listen, I put your name out there, I showed your videos, and they're going crazy, they want you. So I jumped up, I was like, what do you mean? They said they want to do something. They're gonna call you. I gave them your contact. Like, okay. So that's how it started. A few days later, they call me, Rico, we want you to fight, blah, blah. We love what you do, and we want you to fight Anthony Joshua. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm ready for this opportunity. But I was on the set of Roadhouse 2. So there was like, oh shit, now we gotta combine everything. Like, I have my trainer coming in like during takes, and like, okay, we do some pad work, and then finally we were supposed to fight in February. So I think the deal came around October, November. So I had like around 10 good weeks to train. And then finally I finished off the movie in December, and but in between, Joshua got the offer to fight Jake Paul for a crazy amount of money. So he was like, of course,
Right.
I'm gonna do that, and
Right.
then after that, I'm gonna do the Rico fight. Perfect. Okay, he does the Jake Paul fight. Well, that went like how it went, and then they reached out like, can we push the fight a little bit instead of February to March? Like, I'm good. The more time I get, the better.
Right,
So
sure.
to train, to transition into boxing. So that happened, and then the end of the year, like 2 weeks later, that tragic accident happens. So there was.
Yeah,
there
we're
was
talking
in
about
the-
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
He was
there
in
was-
Africa. A terrible car accident.
Yeah,
Killed
terrible.
2 of his friends.
Yeah, terrible. So that derailed that whole situation. But I had a whole training plan scheduled. I was going to Spain to train there for a month, but I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just did what I had to do, and I just continued training. So I was in Spain training, and then at the end of that training camp, we were talking about it, and they said like, yeah, we don't think, and also with this manager Eddie Hearn, like, I don't know if he's gonna be back soon. So what do you want to do? You want to wait or you want to fight? So like, I'm already training, so I would like to fight somebody, but we don't know what makes sense. No, let's think about it. So we thought about it. They thought about it.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Once you've got a great name for your business, you need a great domain. And Squarespace makes it easy to lock in a domain. You just search the name you want, buy it, and then you're ready to build. No hidden fees, no weird upsells. Go to squarespace.com/Rogan for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch, use the code Rogan to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
And then we were talking about, hey, what about Usyk? Does that make sense?
Was it your idea?
Yeah, it was our idea. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why not? Because he's the top dog. He's like undisputed kickboxing champion versus the undisputed boxing champion. Like, there's a
Right.
story there.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just throw it out there and let's see what they say. Okay. Pick up the phone and call them. Yo, guys, yeah. We have an idea. So I pitched him the whole idea, undisputed versus undisputed. Silence. Like, oh my God, what did I just do? Then the first thing I hear back, we love it. Whoa. I said, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? So they said, you know what? We're going to talk to Usyk's team and we're going to come back to you. So like, and then in 2 weeks, they went to Usyk. Usyk loved the idea as well. So again, big shout out to him for taking that fight as well, because he had hundreds of options and he took this fight outside the box. So I love it. Also to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for setting this whole thing up.
Oh, he has set up so many great fights.
So,
He's so important to boxing right now.
Super much respect for both of them, and thankful also to Jason, of course, for setting this whole thing
Yeah,
up
shout
and
out
getting
to Jason.
and getting
I
me
love that
getting me into the conversation. And then like, so that was after 2 weeks, and then at 2 weeks later we were on a FaceTime call for like a minute, and yeah, after that they got it done. So it's like, and then afterwards they said like, oh, it's gonna be a title fight. And then the whole world went crazy, of course. Like, oh my God, how is this guy gonna go for a world title fight? It doesn't make any sense. And I was just like, let's go. We're gonna shock the world.
Well, you know, it's not like you hadn't had a lifetime of striking. It's only the difference is removing the kicks. That's
Yeah,
all.
but the thing is, like the boxing fans, the straight up boxing fans, they're not too much into MMA, and they're definitely not into kickboxing.
Right.
So they had no clue.
Right.
They had no clue of like,
Right.
who is this guy? What did he do? And that's why also the WBC, they also had their Muay Thai department. So for them, it made sense. It's like, hey, Rico with his credentials and what he did in kickboxing, it makes sense to make it a world championship fight. But we just have to tell the people.
Well, it drives me nuts as a fan of combat sports, as also a giant fan of kickboxing. Kickboxing does not get the love that it deserves in America. It doesn't make any sense because in MMA, the casual fans love stand-up. And when fights go to the ground, they boo. Mm-hmm. So, it makes no sense to me how you have boxing huge, MMA huge, kickboxing almost non-existent in America. There's no big kickboxing leagues.
No, but maybe because they want to see their own people win, maybe?
No, it just hasn't been promoted right.
No?
It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense because their own people don't win in MMA. I mean, there's very few American champions. There's Justin Gaethje and Sean Strickland.
But at least they're really competitive. And in kickboxing, they're...
Right, that's true, but we don't care. Honestly, in MMA, no. I mean, Alex Pereira was the biggest star in the sport.
Also
probably still
kickboxing,
is. Yeah, exactly. But Brazilian doesn't speak English at all. Only speaks Portuguese and whatever other language, his tribal language. And so then you have Islam Makhachev who's fighting next weekend. Huge star, from Dagestan. That no one in America, all they care are you the baddest motherfucker on earth. Yeah. That's all they care. And I really genuinely believe that if someone came along, like I really wish Zuffa would do it. Yeah. Because they're doing it with boxing. They should do it with kickboxing. Because kickboxing or Muay Thai, whichever they decide, I think is the most exciting stand-up sport in the world. 100%. I don't think it's even close.
100%.
I love Glory. I fucking watch it all the time. I watch all the events. Yeah. It's so exciting, man. It's so fun. And the fights are so chaotic. And if you're a fan of...
It's brutal.
And technical at the same time. I mean... Some of the most amazing fights. I mean, that's how I knew about Pereira, because I was such a huge fan of Glory. Yeah. When he came over to the UFC, I was like, everyone's fucked. I'm like, you don't understand. Everyone's fucked. This guy's different, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's different.
He's amazing.
But it was because I knew him so much from kickboxing, and he was so exciting in kickboxing. Like, kickboxing should be huge in America. It should be. It really should be.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And it's a part of MMA. So I think a lot of guys...
A giant part of MMA. Yeah. The most exciting part of MMA is the kickboxing, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So
Makes no sense. It is an untapped market. There's somebody figured it out and dove in and made it would be gigantic. Yeah. It would have to be like the UFC, though, because you have to have the kind of publicity machine, the kind of media machine that the UFC has to build up the stories and show these guys and show, like, all the champions.
100%. But I think that's in every big fight and every big organization is where the strength is the storytelling.
Yes.
That is where I think and also, if you ask me, like, when I was in Glory, where it lacked on experience, like the storytelling. Hey,
right.
Where does this guy come from? What is his background? And like you want to get to know the person instead of just like the guy that throws punches and kicks.
Exactly. The UFC does an awesome job with that. They have a whole series called Embedded. So like next week when the Ian Gary Islam Makhachev fight takes place, they're going to have one on Monday. So you get up a Monday morning, it'll be there on YouTube and everybody will watch it. And then you're like, oh shit, you watch that one. And then you watch the one on Tuesday. Yeah. You see them training, you see them eating, you see them in a sauna cutting weight. Yeah. You see them doing all their press stuff. You see them... And you get hyped, man. You get hyped.
But you get drawn into like, this is the guy behind the fighter.
Exactly.
And I think that's so much more interesting.
And then they have the countdown show, which is an hour. Yeah. The countdown show is like highly produced and all this different stuff. So interviews and conversations with their family. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. And it just gets you so jazzed up for the fight. Yeah. If the UFC did something like that with kickboxing, I think it would be gigantic. You know, they tried Glory in America for a while, and it was doing pretty good on Spike TV, remember?
Yeah.
Like they had the Last Man Standing tournament in Los Angeles. Yeah. I went to that. It was awesome. It just never fucking caught on.
No. It was hard. It's too bad. So and then after the last few years, we were just in Europe, more in the Netherlands. That's where we, in Glory.
One is doing a good job with kickboxing. One FC in...
I don't know.
You don't know them?
No. Yeah, I know about them, but I don't know
never
if
watch?
No, I don't know if they're doing. I don't know if they're doing good or not.
Especially in the lighter weight divisions, because they're getting a lot of guys from Thailand and a lot of guys from Japan.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're more Asian based, right? They're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, more Asian based, but they have a lot of stand-up fights now. A
Yeah.
lot of like either they have Muay Thai with MMA gloves on. Yeah,
That's
in a
brutal.
cage, brutal. And then they're also having kickboxing in a cage.
nice.
and kickboxing in a ring. They mix it up between rings
Okay,
and
that's
cages.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the ring is better. I really do, because I think that there's a lot of weird stuff with the cage. You know, like the cage, especially with MMA, I don't like it because you could use it to get back up.
Yeah.
You could like get your back against it and pull yourself back up. You could also use it to take
Yeah.
people down.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
harder
yeah.
to take people down with the ring.
Yeah,
I believe.
100%, 100%. Yeah, so but that's why it's good for me now. Like
Well, I
I'm
know
a
there
free,
was
I'm
a
a
talk.
free agent. Yeah,
There was a talk about you fighting Derek Lewis.
yeah, there
I
was.
remember that. And
Yeah.
then you got the offer to box, and it was
Yeah.
so much money.
Yeah,
added.
the Joshua fight
Yeah.
first.
Oh, that's right. The
yeah,
Joshua
that's where
fight
that's
first.
where it started. So, yeah, so we were in talks because I was a free agent. I vacated the belt.
How many MMA fights do you have? You at least one.
Just one. Yeah, just one. I did some grappling years ago, but I just have one professional MMA fight. So after that, vacating my belt, I was a free agent. So we were like, okay, let's dip our toes in different water. Let's see what's on the landscape now.
Why did
So
you decide to vacate the belt? Because you had done everything you needed to
I
do.
did it all.
You cleaned out the division.
I did it all. So I was like, I wanted it to make sense. And first, we talked within the organization of like, hey, I'm looking to do big stuff, different stuff. So like crossover events, because that was getting more and more talked about, like the big crossover events. And I think, in my opinion, I am one of the baddest men on the planet. So it made sense to do it. But then, within the organization, management, wrong management, like we just didn't get it. We just didn't get to a place where it worked out. So I was like, okay, let me just leave it then. So I left it, and then we talked with UFC to see what was going on there. But then I got the other offer, and it made more sense.
Now, was the other offer a one contract fight, a one fight contract?
Yeah.
So you're free again.
I'm a free agent again.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, and that's why.
Was there
now-
any conversation at all about a rematch?
Yeah, right away. His Excellency came into the ring and he said, "You're gonna fight this guy again." That's the first thing he said. But Kabayao also came into the ring. Ajit Kabayao, the WBC interim champion, and now the champion, because Usyk vacated the belt as well. So he also wanted his shot. So there was like a lot of talk, and like at that moment I was there, but it was just like, I don't know, it was
Chaos.
Yeah, chaos. And for me, I was just like, wow, did this?
They just fucked you.
Yeah, did this really just happen? And it took me like at least 6 weeks before I watched the fight back for the very first time after the fight.
Wow.
Because it still hurts. So so now I'm like a free agent, and we
When
got
you watched
we
it
got
after
so
the
many
bell,
we
what
got
it-
so many offers now.
What is it like watching it and watching the fight get stopped after the bell?
It still hurts. It still hurts. I'm like, wow, what did you want me to do? You want me to move around? Did you want me to punch back or whatever? For me, like, I've been in trouble multiple times within my world title kickboxing fights.
Yeah.
I was behind multiple times, and I still came out on top. So for me, there's no conversation in like, okay, could he continue? Is he gonna continue? I never stop.
They don't know you. That's the other
Exactly.
thing, is the conditioning thing. Like, your conditioning is so good, you bounce back so quick. And there's been so many times where guys try to empty the tank to put you out.
Yeah.
And you're not going nowhere.
No, and it was just a few seconds, and a referee should know that. So next to that, like with all the experience that I have within the combat sports, like it's just a few seconds. Let it go, and let me at least give me the opportunity and give the fans the opportunity to see that 12th round.
Right.
So,
Oh, it would have been so exciting.
yeah. Oh my God. But also looking back at it, because there was also open scoring. And I love open scoring because within that gives you the right position and gives the fighters the position. Like, okay, where we're standing within this fight. But now looking back at the fight after 8 rounds, because after every 4 rounds we hear what the scoring is. After 8 rounds, my trainer Peter Fury says, "Okay, we gotta really start winning these rounds now." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Am I hearing this right? I feel like I'm already winning these rounds." He said, "No, we're equal. We're equal on the scorecards after 8 rounds." So I was like, "Okay." So in the 9th round, I started,
Even the commentators are like, "What?"
yeah, exactly. But then I really started pushing even more. But I was pushing already. But if you know you're like 8 or 7 rounds ahead, and you feel like you're getting tired the last 2 or 3 rounds, just move around.
Yeah.
Tip tap, and maybe you lose it, maybe it's a draw or whatever, and then still you win because you were like 5 rounds ahead. Then it doesn't make any sense. But now we had to keep pushing, and then it's like walking straight
the
into that
open
uppercut.
scoring,
Like it still gets me. Oh, when I look back at it, it's like and then that last part, that's what I find so hard, and I feel like I need to work on that as a human being, for myself, as a person. I can only look at that one mistake I felt I made at the end, because I gave them the opportunity to pull this card. That's how it feels for me.
Mistake being that you push too hard, or
The mistake, like there was one mistake that I made running into that uppercut, like walking straight in, swinging, and we said in the whole prep, I tried that a few times, like, oh, that's dangerous, don't do that with Usyk, and still, for whatever reason, I did that at that exact moment, and that's what frustrates me if I look back at it, because I'm not looking at what he did well, because that uppercut was amazing. I'm just looking at what I'm responsible for, and I'm responsible for myself. I gave them now this opportunity by making that mistake, and that's like, so hard to get over that for myself. But I need to work on that, because I had the same with the Jamal Ben Sadiq fight with the eye. Everybody's like, "Oh, Rico, you showed them you're never giving up." But I know I got that. I know I got that from the inside, but I never have to show that, because the skill set is so big that I don't get in trouble. So I don't have to show that I can continue and I'm never giving up. But I can only look at that one mistake. Why did I do that? Then I get the eye, like, you're so stupid. So I can only look at that.
Cut.
Yeah,
And that guy fucking punches hard.
yeah.
And he's a big fella.
Yeah, he's bigger than I am. So.
Jamal Ben Sadiq is huge. Powerful
So
guy.
that's hard for me, but I got to work on that for myself. Like,
Yeah, but that's also why you're great.
yeah.
I mean, you have to hate mistakes, hate them like they're poison.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
I mean,
but you should have seen me after the fight. Like I was like a big baby. I was crying in my hotel room like a big baby. I was like, oh my God, I was so close of like shocking the world, and now this happened. It was like, oh, it hurts so bad.
I can
it
only
still hurts
imagine.
to a certain extent, but
at least you could laugh at it a little bit now.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
No,
To me,
like
watching it as a fan of yours, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna fucking pull it off.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat, and when we're going into the 9th and 10th rounds, I was like, I don't see how Usyk can win.
No.
And then when they started talking about the scorecards, I was like, what the fuck are they watching? This is crazy.
They're looking at a different fight. But for me,
Either corrupt or incompetent.
yeah. But
Either
for me,
corrupt or
if I look at it now, and for us talking about it, and for you being so long into combat sports and being a commentator and doing it yourself, wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't you be maybe a spokesman or a part? Could you be a part of a way how we can make this whole judging thing and this whole transparency better?
Well, I think one way to do it is to have more judges like Glory does. I think 5 is probably the right number. And I think another thing to do is maybe have a bunch of people online that are recognized experts, like top trainers, top commentators, people that really understand the sport.
Yeah.
And maybe they get an app. Maybe there's like a special app that those guys can judge on.
Yeah.
So you have a collective expert opinion.
Yeah.
And you get to look at that as well.
Yeah, but that's what we had now. Like if you look, the professionals, the trainers, the commentators, they all saw the fight a certain way, but the judges saw something totally. They were looking at a different fight for some kind of reason, and
Well,
that's crazy.
A problem like we talked about. It's either incompetence or it's corruption, and I think it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the corruption isn't even conscious, but it's like they know who the promoter wants to win. They want Usyk to win because Usyk is where you can get the next Tyson Fury fight or the Anthony Joshua. Well, not Anthony Joshua, but whoever he would decide to fight.
Yeah.
You know, again.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be Deontay Wilder, which nobody's calling for.
I don't know if it's gonna happen. But yeah,
Where
we
is
gotta
that
see.
signed? Can you please find out if the Anthony Joshua, or excuse me, the Deontay Wilder, Alexander Usyk fight is signed? Because people were talking about that being, I think they were saying like December or something.
They were trying for it. At least I know that's what that's what they were trying for. But for me, like that's why for now it's
Not officially signed yet. Okay.
That's
A
why
plea to His Excellency, Turkey Al-Sheikh. This is the fight. But here's the question. Does Usyk want that fight? That's the question.
I don't
When
know.
you have
I don't think
a really tough fight like that fight, and then they ask you to do it again, and this is your last time out. He's calling. I mean, this is his last fight.
Yeah.
If this is his last fight, and he almost lost to you, and he has the potential of losing again, they'd have to entice him. They'd have to fucking pull out that paper. Pull out that paper.
Then he's like,
drink big bags.
Then he's
of
like,
gold.
okay, if I lose, it is what it is.
They
No,
would
exactly.
have to just
No, but that's
bring-
why it's so good for me now to be in this position. I'm a free agent. We got offers from the biggest organizations across the world, like after this fight, and I'm just like taking my time, looking
What offers
at
have they
it.
given you that's exciting? Can you talk about them?
Not really.
No? All right,
Not really.
afterwards.
Not
Tell
really.
me afterwards.
Yeah. No, so
Because
they
I know a lot of people talked about you possibly boxing Francis Ngannou or having an MMA fight with Francis Ngannou.
Yeah. So
Was that on the table?
yeah, no. So to be honest, like 2 weeks before the Usyk fight, there was the MVP card, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they approached me like weeks before MVP to MMA versus Francis, and then I was also like right on the edge of like closing the deal with Usyk, and so I had the two options on the table. And yeah, to be honest, like the MMA deal, like they kept on like stacking up. Like Rico, it's like okay, what if we give you the okay, but what if you give me the okay, let me look at this option again. So, but then, yeah, I just looked myself in the mirror like, I respect His Excellency, and Jason gave his word, and His Excellency gave his word that they were going to do it. And if I look at myself, I'm looking at legacy, and that Francis Ngannou fight is still going to be there after the Usyk fight. But how crazy is that as a kickboxer coming in, fighting for a world championship within boxing, and potentially winning, because that's how I only have one plan, and that's winning. So that's how I went into that fight, and we saw how that went, and it was.
Didn't
it
you
was
wish you
crazy.
could kick him?
No, not really.
Not at all?
No,
Didn't
because
you wish you could just a few low kicks?
No, because that he's definitely not gonna make it to the end. No, but that was so funny because everybody's like, Rico, you've been kickboxing for so long. Like, what happens if you head kick him? Like, just
No.
like, don't you have that feeling? Like guys, like I've been boxing next to doing kickboxing like for 15 years or something. I've been working with Peter Fury for so long, and I'm used to this. But I think that's what made me such a good kickboxer as well, that I was into
Yes.
boxing.
But there's a giant difference between working with a kickboxer and even being a kickboxer and fighting arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time.
100%.
Crazy.
100%. But the crazy thing was, I think it was around 5 or 6. I was like, he was jabbing me. I was just ticking it away, and I was like, bum, bum, bum. I'm like talking to myself in the fight. I'm like, am I out jabbing the champ? This is crazy. And then my trainer Dennis, Rico, just keep doing what you're doing. You're winning this fight. Let's go. Because he also didn't want me to take too many risks.
Right.
He's like, okay, you won this round, and then continue from there, because that's how they were experiencing the fight and the rounds on the side.
Well, let me ask you this: when you first started formulating a game plan, did you watch a bunch? I'm sure you're already a fan of Usyk's. You watch his fights,
100%.
but did you rewatch them and try to find
100%.
patterns? How did you formulate this game plan?
Oh, of course, with my trainer Peter Fury, he's crazy. He's the very, very, very best at what he does. And we were just like analyzing these fights. Like, so first he already had the thing in his mind, and he asked me like, what do you see all these boxers do, and what they shouldn't be doing, and what do you think they should do? So I look at it, and I think it basically started with, if somebody is a southpaw, why would you stay right in front of them? That's one thing. And because you cannot go, if somebody is orthodox, you move to the right. But you cannot move to the right with a southpaw because you're walking straight into a left hand. So why is nobody moving to the left? Because then, as soon as you move to the left, you're walking away from that strong arm. I think, and that's what we said. Exactly.
Which is crazy. It's just so many people are so stuck in their patterns.
Exactly.
The way they like to move. They
100%.
like to move to their right.
Yeah.
That's what they like. They feel good. They want to move to their right and throw a right hand, but you're just running into that power hand. It's just crazy that it's not just that, too. It's also the size difference. Like, that was one thing. It's like you were so big in that ring that you were smothering him, and you were on top of him, and you were throwing those shots in tight.
Yeah, but the combination of those two, getting him out of that position, took away so many of his tools, and then, like you said, smothering and getting into him and using my size. Because if you ask me, like, all the guys he fought are they're my size. They're way bigger than him.
Right.
But because of the way they fought, they couldn't use their size on him. But the way I did it, I could.
Tyson Fury did a lot. He used his size a lot, and he's a different kind of big, though. He's big and long, where you're fucking thick.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. You're very lean and huge. It's like the mass of you when you were on top of him, pushing him. You could see that it was a factor. It's like he was recognizing it.
But it's so hard. Like, if you look at that fight that you just mentioned, is how are you going to get... He tried to use his size, but how are you going to get close to him walking straight into it? Because he's just going to keep moving. He's going to keep moving because he's so fast on his feet. But that's what we tried to do. We tried to be fast up on our feet and move to the side and then get into it and then get close. Because then, as soon as he's a southpaw, you keep moving this way and just keep getting closer. Somewhere you're gonna be there. You're gonna reach him.
Yeah.
But it takes some time. And I didn't think, if you look at the heavyweights, what they all want to do is they want to bam. They want to hit maybe boom boom 1-2. Versus arguably one of the best to have ever done it. And then, especially in a cruiserweight, how are you going to hit him in step A?
Right.
It's going to be at least step B, C, or D when you're going to hit him. You got to have multiple plans. Like, for me, I was just throwing. Throw. And I know the first time I was going to hit him was maybe in punch 6 or whatever. Because then the distance is going to be closer. So I didn't even think about trying to knock his head off. That's what I said. I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and knock his head off. Of course I'm going to tell him that. Because this is definitely not what we're going to do. I was just going to get close.
Right.
And keep working.
Volume.
Keep working volume. And then finally when you're there, that's the moment you're going to put in some power. But that's like maybe punch 7 or 8. But the first 3, 4... you're not even gonna hit this. You're just hitting air because he's too fast.
Right. Yeah, he's like a giant Lomachenko.
Exactly. But that's how we thought about it. Don't try and hit him in the first 2 or 3 punches. Throw them So he has something to look at and something to think about. And then we're going to get there. And as soon as you get there, you smother him, boom, punch him in the body.
What heavyweight boxers have you worked with over the years?
All the top fighters. Of course, that's how I got with Peter Fury. I started with Tyson Fury. I trained with Ajit Kabayao because he was also in that camp back then. Yui Fury, Peter's son. I think he's been going up and down because of his health, but he's definitely one of the best. And we're gonna see more of him because he's such a good competitor, such a good boxer as well. Great skill set. So there's been a bunch of fighters that we worked with.
That's so massive.
Yeah.
Because sharing all that gym time with elite guys like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
And Kobayev, having that kind of experience in the gym must have also been a huge confidence boost
100%. Especially now in this whole last thing is trying to get like good southpaw fighters. Oh my God, that's the hardest thing. And then we had one big guy and we had one smaller guy. It was so hard, and then mixing that up. So we started off with the first 6 with the big guy, Moses Jolly, and an amazing boxer. But he's big, he's heavy. He's not an Usyk. He's like twice as big as Usyk, but he's a southpaw, so he has that power, and we could really compete. And then after that, we jumped in with James Branch, and he's like 90 kilo southpaw. So he's like. He's like throwing rapid fire punches, like oh, fuck. So and that change within sparring. So doing first 6 with one and then 6 with the other. Oh my God, it was next level. It was like 6 months of pure hard work.
Wow.
But it was so cool. And it just opened up my mind to a whole different world. And it's for being in combat sports since I was 6. And after all these years saying like, okay, this kickboxing chapter within the book I think that's done. Let's start a new chapter.
Well, there's no big kickboxing fight that can compare with what you just did.
No, exactly.
I mean, how old are you now? 38?
37.
37.
Yeah.
So at that age, like you gotta like look at what you've already accomplished.
Yeah.
And in kickboxing, there's no fight that everyone's calling out for. Like, it's not like Badr Hari's in the prime.
No.
It's not like one big fight.
No. So there was like, hey, and especially with the whole crossover fights being at the biggest attention right now, it's like, hey, I think this is something we got to look at.
So after the fight is done,
Yeah.
Turki Al-Sheikh comes into the ring, says you guys are going to fight again. And it's been a couple months now. So what has happened? What do you talk to anybody? Has your management talked to anybody?
Yeah, they talked to everybody because it's been crazy. Like all the biggest organizations reached out. Hey, we were looking at this fight. We're looking at that fight.
Right.
And
but what about
what makes sense for us? And that's where I'm looking at now because, like I said, I believe I'm in the winter of my career. So I'm just looking at big fights.
Do you have a
fights that
timeline
make
when you
sense.
want to get out?
No, it's not set in stone. But let's see. But like I said, I feel like I'm so excited. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful to be in this position right now. So let's make history.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's all about legacy, right?
They fucked you over, but you did win. You got a big win out of it in that you performed way better than anybody expected. And then there's also this element where people are rooting for you because they do think you got fucked over.
Yeah, 100%.
They think you were getting fucked over in the scoring, and you got fucked over with the stoppage.
Yeah.
And so it's very marketable. And so my question, though, what I'm asking is, has anybody talked about the rematch other than that one time?
I knew this was going to come.
I mean, that's the fight.
What I want to know is,
that's the fight.
We're talking about the rematch.
That is the fight. That is.
I know.
That's one of the biggest fights in heavyweight boxing right now.
I know. 100%.
If not, though, it's got to be, other than Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is going to be big for England.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For them, that's an all-time fight.
100%,
Two of the
100%.
all-time greats
Yeah,
in
makes
England.
sense.
Two of the greatest British heavyweight champions ever.
A little bit late, but
It's a little late,
Yeah.
especially after Anthony Joshua's last fight. That was a
Yeah.
scary one. I was like, whoa.
yeah, but both of them,
Yes.
both of the fights they did.
Yes.
Yeah. I
It's
don't know.
not. They're not the same guys.
No, but
still,
it's still
they're
super
legends.
excited. Exactly,
They're both
they're
legends.
legends, and it's a huge
Yeah.
fight that
But
finally
other than
got
that-
made.
Other than that, the fight is a rematch.
Yeah.
You and Usyk is the
100%.
fight. That is the fight in the heavyweight division right
Yeah.
now.
No.
There's no one else out there that's like, there's Moses Aitama, who people don't really know about enough yet.
Not yet, yeah,
who I
but
think
he's
is the future.
100%.
Woo,
100%.
that guy's good. Woo,
Dynamite.
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 He's so fast.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And he's so slick in how he moves in and out.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
No, that's the next
future.
generation. Yeah, he's the future.
Yeah, I mean, he's like our generation's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Well, you watch him; he's 21 years old. He's coming up, and you're like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
He's like,
But but he doesn't have enough experience yet, and doesn't have enough name yet
No.
for what he really is and what his
No,
potential
not yet.
is.
No,
It one
exactly.
day will happen, but for you, and for Usyk, and for heavyweight boxing, that's the fight.
yeah, 100%. 100%.
I wish I was a promoter.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get Dana White to get Zuffa involved.
Oh, that would be crazy.
I don't
That
know.
would
What
be
is
crazy.
is there some sort of a deal that Usyk has with anybody?
I don't think so, because I believe that is one of the reasons as well why he vacated those belts.
Right.
Because
He doesn't want to
be-
deal with anybody else.
No, because when you have those belts, you get forced
Right.
into fights.
Right.
You're like, okay, you're mandatory to fight this guy. And that was
Exactly.
I think for him, the position that he was in fighting me, he could that was a voluntary defense. And he decided hey, I would love to do this on my terms
Right.
versus another guy. And I think they looked at it like, this is maybe going to be an easier fight. So this is nice to do. That didn't go the way as planned. But still, I think that's where his mind is at now. He's like, I just want to do what I want to do, which makes so much sense after
Yeah.
what he has accomplished
After what he's accomplished, he should be able to call his own shots. And
Yeah.
I want him to make the most money possible because he is a legend.
But
And-
that's
but this
like
is
you
the
said,
fight.
this is
That's
then the fight. This is
but
the
the
fight
problem
that-
is, it might be too hard.
Yeah.
It might be too hard. It might be one of those ones which is why maybe, no disrespect to Deontay, but he might be looking at Deontay thinking Deontay's a little softer.
Yeah, and we're gonna ride
little
into the
easier.
sunset.
Yeah, go
But
out
it's
with a
also-
big, spectacular knockout.
Yeah, but it's also then, like you said, it's not gonna be the big money grab because if
I don't
you
think
ask
a lot
me,
of people are going to pay for that
no,
fight.
exactly,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be paid that crazy money for it.
It's not a big pay-per-view fight. That's the thing. It's like people will watch it just because he's an all-time great. And anytime Usyk fights, people are going to watch. And Deontay still.
Yeah,
he's still the greatest one-punch knockout artist in the history of
Yeah,
sport.
because you never know what's gonna
And that's the
happen when he
last thing
fights.
you lose is
Yeah.
the power.
Yeah.
His power is fucking crazy.
Yeah, he can finish you in the 10th.
Yeah, with one shot.
Yeah.
When-
Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, he hit Ortiz on the top of the head and put him out. I was like, that is nuts, man.
Yeah, it's
He's
a different
so
level
good.
of power.
Different level of power. But again, 40 years old, it's twilight of his career. And this hasn't looked good in the last few years. But for Usyk to want that fight signals to me that he just, wants to just go out with one more payday, and that's it. And I don't know if that was his choice, that fight. Maybe that's just the internet talking.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Deontay Wilder's team wants that fight. I don't know.
I don't know either. But like I said, I got all the options. They gave me all the options. Like, hey, you want to fight this guy? You want to fight that guy?
So have they talked to you about MMA as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm keeping the options open. But
But you're leaning towards boxing.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I've been in the boxing game now, and I've enjoyed it so much. And that's like for me, like I just said, like I came from kickboxing from being 6 years old and doing it for over 30 years, and then now getting really into boxing. I was always boxing, but I was boxing to kickbox. It's a
Right.
totally different game. I had to rewire everything
Right.
that was in there. So now that I did it and I performed the way that I performed, it was like, yeah, this was fun.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You've probably heard about BetterHelp before, but maybe you haven't heard from those who have actually used BetterHelp. That feedback can tell you everything you need to know. Go to betterhelp.com/reviews and check out the feedback from hundreds of people saying how much they love this service. It's easy to see why. To get started, all you have to do is answer a few questions. You'll get matched up with a therapist based on your needs. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit betterhelp.com/JRE. That's betterhelp.com/JRE.
I really enjoyed that.
Also, that is the glory division, no pun intended, of the heavyweight division, is the heavyweight division, or of boxing, rather, is the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is where the real money's at, always.
Yeah.
That is the baddest
It's
man in
always been
boxing.
there,
It's
yeah.
always been that way.
Yeah.
And for you, after that performance, I got to think there's a lot of options for you.
Yeah, like I said, they threw so many stuff at us, but we're like, hey, we take our time, look at the different options, and of course, still, His Excellency has our first preference because they gave us the opportunity.
Right.
When, yeah, we had
What
the
was it
opportunity.
like to fight in front of the pyramids? That's crazy,
It
too.
was insane.
Outside.
It was insane, Joe. It's like, let me tell you another story. So that happened also while I was in this camp. It's not a nice thing to say, but my mother passed away during the moment I was in camp for this fight. And well, that happened. It was hard, and then we had to clean out her house, and then finally doing that and cleaning everything, and then we come by a bunch of pictures, and yeah, you can see it on my Instagram, and then I see the pictures of my mother 30 years prior being in front of the pyramids. It's like, wow, why do I see these pictures now, knowing that this fight is in front of the pyramids? It was mind-blowing. And so for me, it was like full circle. Going back, I like literally made the same pictures my mother made 30 years prior, before the fight, in front of the Sphinx, in front of the pyramids, and that was like goosebumps. So for me, having that whole experience, being in front of the pyramids, doing that, was like full circle. It was
When did they
insane.
come up with that idea to have you guys fight in front of the pyramids?
Well, the way they...
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
crazy. That really is crazy. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That really is wild.
Yeah. Still, I don't know. Still like...
Of
does a lot.
course. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
So it was such
So
a,
when did
such
they
a
come up
special-
with the idea of having a heavyweight title fight in front of the pyramids?
Yeah, so the communication is always like really like straightforward, and they don't say too much. So the way it began, like the first thing I got was just like a WhatsApp picture. We're thinking about this location. that was the thing. Because first I saw the picture, I opened it, like, oh, it's the pyramids, nice. And then after that, I looked at we're thinking about this location. I'm like, okay, but how are you gonna do that? Like, to me, it didn't make too much sense. And then afterwards, they said like, they sent me a video, like, yeah, we're gonna do it here. It's gonna be outside, and it's like, oh my God, it's gonna be outside in front of the pyramids. It's like mind blowing. And that was also a thing. That's what I said. Like, it was like the rumble in the jungle.
Right.
But then, with that being said, what people thought, like, what is this guy talking about? Is he putting himself in the same category as Ali and Foreman or whatever? What is he? No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean about the location.
Yeah.
I never put myself in that. Everybody that knows me, like, I'm I'm super humble, so I never would say something like that. But that's what I meant. Like, it was something like the Rumble in the Jungle because we're talking about the location.
Right.
Like,
the location was a part of the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was insane, Joe. And then for me, they asked me, like, Rico, can we ask you to do like a certain choreography? Okay, I don't want to do too much. I want to focus on fighting Usyk. So, okay, only thing you got to do is like punch the ground, and then the ground is going to crack open, and then we're going to, like, for the first time that evening, boom, we're going to turn on the pyramids. So that's cool. That sounds good. I'll do that. So I did that, but so I punched the ground, I turn around, and for the first time, we see like the ground cracking open, and then the lights shine onto the pyramids. Wow.
Wow.
It was a goosebump moment.
Was that your first time being at the pyramids?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why this whole picture and this whole thing was, for me, was like a full circle. Like, wow. It was such a special moment, such a special event. And then, okay, then I turn around, then my whole theme song comes up. You know how I run to the ring.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like a real catwalk. And during the day, I already went to see like what they expected from me and like how I'm gonna. And there was like some small steps, like down, like 5 or 6. But then I hear my song, boom, 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 I do my thing, and I do, and I run to the ring. But I was like walking straight onto these steps. I'm like, am I gonna take these steps fast? I'm like, no, fuck them. I'll just jump down. I just decided that at the moment. And then I landed. It was like, ooh, this was higher than I expected. And I just kept on running. It's like, just think about like, maybe I just like sprain my ankle or something,
Right.
like jumping from the crazy
Here it
like
is,
that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And it was
was
so funny
awesome.
because afterwards, the cameraman, he walked up to me. He's like, "I almost missed you. You were jumping down." So it's like I was looking at you, like, "Whoa, you were gone."
That was wild.
Yeah,
dude.
it was wild. It was outside, and it was the temperature was actually pretty good.
What was the temperature?
I think it was like 20 degrees.
So that's
Celsius?
What is that? It's like 70 something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's real swirly in the real mid part.
yeah.
What's that, Jamie?
100, is boiling, and 212 is boiling for Fahrenheit, but like 0 and 30, I don't know. Yeah, somewhere
Well,
in
just
the middle. It's just
put it in
weird.
the.
I will.
Here, I'll do it right here.
I have
Yeah.
this on the screen. I can't.
What is 20 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 68. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
So that was
That's
that was nice. So you're like, and I run, and then whoop, I just I just jumped down.
Wow.
Oh no, it was so cool.
Did it feel any different than any other fight you've had before? No.
No,
We've had so much. How many kickboxing fights have you had?
75 something.
75. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
yeah. It was.
That's a giant, huge advantage of having so much combat sports experience. you
Yeah,
know?
but where everybody was leaning towards was like, this guy has one professional boxing fight. What is he doing there? This doesn't make any sense. Like, guys, I've been in and around the ring for quite a while now.
Yeah. I have a bunch of friends of mine that are just boxing fans.
Yeah.
And they were talking all kinds of shit. Like,
Oh, so I had so many apologies. I had so many, Rico. About so many famous boxers, and I'd be like, I didn't know what you were capable of, but damn, this was crazy. Like, oh, thank you, appreciate that. You
Quite
know?
honestly, I didn't know what you're going to be capable of either, because I knew you as a kickboxer were one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But as a boxer, I hadn't seen. I'm like, you're taking away one of his biggest weapons,
Yeah.
which is the low kicks. I mean, your low kicks are phenomenal. You have
Yeah.
tree trunk legs.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, that's a giant weapon that's removed from him. Like, we'll see. He's also fighting one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest boxer of all time in the heavyweight division. But to have that kind of a performance and to do it the way you did it, it's like, man, it was amazing to watch. It was as a person who likes watching combat sports, it was one of the most exciting things I'd ever watched.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate that. But for me, I think what worked in my advantage the most was if you look at kickboxing and it's logical, like physically, it's like you're so square on. And everybody thought that was what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was boxing always to kickbox. So, but Peter Fury has been telling me to get more on the side for years. But how, as a kickboxer, am I going to be more on the side?
You
Because
can't.
they're going to kick my leg off.
Yeah.
Because I can't block anymore.
Yeah.
So I was constantly trying to find the balance within that. And now Peter was super happy because now finally he could teach me boxing to box.
Right.
So
right.
now I had to
proper stance.
every time, like, okay, go more to the side, because you're too square on. Like,
Right.
Okay, go back. So I needed the 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much hard work we had to put into that.
Did you find yourself like having to correct it mentally, or did it get to a point where it was instinctive, the stance and the positioning?
No, I had to definitely correct, and they had to tell me.
But
every
were you
time.
correcting in the fight? In the fight, was it down? Was it
No,
instinctive?
in the fight it was.
You had gotten it in.
We
there.
got it down, but within the whole prep, it was.
So you really do need the 6 months for that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So for me, this whole experience of getting into boxing, like, it was perfect. It was perfect for everybody around it. It was really terrible. Of course, where Anthony Joshua went through and everything. So that the most horrific thing ever. But for me, getting into the transition to boxing, I needed that time to get like a clean transition, and that's why I was super happy with the 6 months and the change of fights. I believe like the Anthony Joshua fight is still a big fight that we could do, but yeah, getting the opportunity to fight for a boxing heavyweight title is on another level big, of course.
Oh yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
And also, I've got to think that from that experience, you're even better now.
100%.
You have to be better. We're in there with the best guy ever.
Yeah, 100%. But the funny thing is, like, that's why I made the meme of Jim Carrey, like, because everybody was like, he's moving pretty strange. What is he doing? But we knew that thing would work versus
Right.
versus Usyk. But we got so many more tools in the toolbox that we can pull out, because in another fight versus a different fighter, we're gonna show a whole different Rico again. But if we're gonna fight Usyk again, it's gonna be slightly different. But it's still like basically the strategy worked.
Well, you gave him so many things to think about constantly.
Yeah.
There was no time to set.
No.
There was always chaos. There was always hands moving. There was always your body's moving. You're
Yeah.
moving forward. You're shuffling around. It was so much activity that his mind has to constantly process all these different
But
things.
normally that is what he does.
Yes.
And that's, if you look at the whole heavyweight division, his previous fights, he was in control. He was showing them so much. And if you have something to look at the whole time, it's like, it gets your mind out of what you want to do, because you're constantly anticipating what your opponent is doing. So
Yeah.
that's what we try to do. We try to take that from him.
What were you doing for conditioning? Like, I just want to know what your conditioning is like in general, because you are such a big guy, and to be that big and have that kind of cardio is very extraordinary.
Do I agree? Maybe partially. I agree with that, because to be honest, at the top, Joe, everybody works hard, right? That's what I do. I just work incredibly hard. But I believe that mentally, when you get tired, or when your body gives signals of starting to feel tired, how do you cope with that in your mind? That's where I think the biggest difference is. Because if at the moment I feel I'm getting tired, then I know my opponent is feeling fucked.
Right.
Because I know how hard I work to be fit and to do everything possible to be in the best shape ever. Because if you look at training schedules or whatever, from my schedule versus another guy's schedule, I find it hard to believe that I'm training so much harder than all the other top guys. Yeah, that's my opinion. I find that hard to believe. So for me, it's just like a mental thing. As soon as I start feeling it, I'm like, okay, now the fight starts.
Well, there's certain people have genetics that lean towards better cardio and conditioning.
Yeah.
Like in the UFC, Cain Velasquez was famous for that.
He's a monster.
He just had insane cardio for
Yeah.
a heavyweight. But for you, are you what I'm getting at? How much time are you spending on strength and conditioning versus skill work?
I think it's pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced. But for example, everything I do is based on endurance. So even the power gym, I don't have to do 300 pounds bench press.
Right.
I don't care. I know I'm already big, and
Right.
I know I'm not the hardest puncher within the game. I don't have to be the hardest puncher in the game. But as soon as I hit, I'm still a heavyweight. Still like
Right.
260 pounds behind it. So when I hit you, you're going to feel it. So that's how we approach it. Just lean into what works for you. I'm not the strongest puncher. I also don't believe I'm the most skillful, but I'm definitely the hardest worker. And that's what we try to emphasize. Like, just keep working hard. So the pace is high. We can show a lot. We can do a lot.
Do you have a guy that's just a strength and conditioning guy? And so, like, what kind of work were you doing? What kind of things are you doing?
You want to know it all, right?
Yeah, I want to know it all.
No, I do a full body workout 3 times a week, and just a lot of reps.
So this is
And
more
everything.
strength than conditioning, or is it both at the same time?
It's both at the same time. Because what we do is I have for example, we do chest, and I do like 20 reps, just the beginning, 20 reps. Then we get to another exercise, and then again I do 20 reps. So we do 40 reps each. And those reps are going to go up the closer we get to the fight. But the rest between the exercise is just 30 seconds. And then we change exercise. And we go to a different muscle group. And then we go back to chest. And then again we do 20, 30 seconds. Okay, we go to a different muscle group. And then that's again 30 seconds. So it's the pace is incredibly high. And I think that whole training takes maybe 35, 40 minutes max.
Yeah, that's got to be a giant factor, because I don't know how many people are doing that way. You know, a lot of guys are doing strength and or conditioning. They're running, they're hitting the bag, they're doing different things.
Yeah, but for me, like, I'm not focusing on, when I'm focusing on strength, I don't want to be big. I feel like I'm already pretty big.
Right.
And the more muscles I have to just carry them with me. And all those muscles, they want and they need oxygen. So
Yeah.
then my heart is going to be like pumping just to get that oxygen there. No, I just focus on that. Boom. And then I start with 20, and then I get to 22s, and then I get to 24s. And then with the same exact weight. So you get so much stronger. At the same time, you get so much fitter.
Right.
And that combination just, I don't know, it's just been working for us throughout the years.
So are you using apps and heart rate monitors and
Yeah.
things along those lines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use heart rate monitors. Do running in different ways. We do the interval running. We do the endurance running. Sometimes we just run for an hour. And then you do the interval running.
Is this mostly treadmill work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, my body's, been through a lot.
Right. So running on the concrete, running outside,
Yes.
rough on the knees.
No, it's I don't believe it's smart. So I have this special treadmill, which I can take some of my own weight off. So I have this big balloon around me.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen those before.
Yeah. So I got that since I had the ACL surgery on the knee, and ever since I've just been using it, and I love it. I love it. So I can do the running experience, and because I love running, because it's so hard, it's so heavy on the body, and mentally it's so hard. But then I don't have the full force on my joints, like
Right.
It's just like, it's not good.
Well, I mean, you got to think of all those years of leg kicks.
Leg kicks, and oh my god. Especially when I got the ACL, I was like, oh my god.
How long ago did that happen?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, I thought I was done. So much pain. I was like, why? I'm like getting close to the end of my career. Now this happens, like, and then getting back from that within 6 months, that was like, because I had a bucket handle meniscus and I had the ACL.
I had
So,
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Did they remove the meniscus?
No.
No? They
No.
just stitched it
They
up?
stitch it back. So
That's
the
smarter.
first, yeah, but
They know that now.
Yeah, but the first 6 weeks, you're not allowed to put too much pressure on it.
Right. Right.
But oh my God, that was
They used to
terrible.
think that you should cut the meniscus out. Now they've done studies and they find that there's no benefit to that. And
Of
that
course not,
affects-
because it's your meniscus is
Yeah.
right between the bones, or else it's just bone on bone. It's
Exactly.
so especially they said, especially with me being so heavy and so big, like within 10 years you're gonna have trouble if we're gonna take it out.
Yeah, I have trouble on my left leg because of that very reason. They took a big piece of it out when I had the bucket handle tear, and it just that area hurts all the time.
Yeah,
It is what it is. They do cadaver grafts. Well, they'll take a cadaver meniscus and put it in place.
Really?
Yeah, they take a piece of meniscus
Wow.
out of a dead guy, but it doesn't always work, and you really have to be young for it to work more effectively. I guess they say that, but that also could be dependent upon what you're doing with it. Like, are you using peptides? Are you using stem cells? Are you using hyperbaric chamber?
Yeah.
Are you using red light therapy? Are you using all the different modalities that could help you heal quicker?
yeah.
But yeah, they do. I know a guy who got it done.
You definitely use everything because you haven't aged a day since we did the last show. So it's
I
like,
use everything,
I
bro.
I don't know how you do it, but after the show, you gotta give me the recipe.
Well, I probably do a lot of the things you do because I know you do cold plunge every day.
Yeah, I love it.
I do that every morning. And I do a lot of sauna work, but I do a lot of red light therapy. I do that at least 4 or 5 times a week. I try to do it. I've done. I have a hyperbaric chamber. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I try to do that as many days a week as I've done that 2 days in a row now. I like to do
Nice.
it 3-4 days a week. When I'm really feeling better is when I'm doing it 3 or 4 days a week. And just constantly training. Like, you have to
Yeah.
can't get out of shape.
But you do it all, right? You do.
Yeah,
the
you can't get out of
jiu-jitsu
shape.
and yeah.
If you get out of shape, you can't get back in shape. But if you stay in shape, it's remarkable how much you could keep it going. Look at Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean, he was performing at a world-class, world championship level at 50 years old as a boxer,
Yeah,
which is
that's-
nuts.
That's insane.
And it's just because of his discipline. Never got fat, never got out of shape, always stayed in the gym, never ate bad food.
But also mentally, it keeps you just in balance.
Yeah.
Just being because that's what I believe. Why, just training in general for everybody is so good because that's me time.
Yep.
That's the time that you're working on what is good for you and for your mental health. And you're not thinking about, hey, I'm at work, I'm making money to provide for the family, or I'm doing groceries for this. No, I'm in the gym and I'm working on me. Fucking turn your phone off,
Yep.
listen to some music, and just like work on your body and your mental health. It's so good.
And the effects of it afterwards, the alleviation of anxiety and pressure and just how good you feel, the endorphins.
Yeah.
I just wish people that don't do it could understand that, because so many people, they just have an aversion to the hard work. They have an aversion to like getting there. They just like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But if you just do it, you'll feel so much better. And then everybody wants to talk about discipline, and discipline is very important. It's the most important thing probably. But almost equally important is momentum. And once you have a few good days in a row, the discipline is not as hard anymore,
No,
because
but-
now you have momentum.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. But the thing is, what happens, same with the cold plunge that we do multiple times a week or almost every day, is like some days, the same as going to work or whatever, you just wake up and you just do not feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But then the discipline comes in. Like
Yes.
I do not feel like doing it, but I am gonna do it.
Yes.
Because if I can do it on the days that I do not feel like doing it, every other day is gonna be easy.
Yes.
And that's for me, what I felt like I was just sharing with you, like what I find so hard, for example, with the losing and the mistakes that I made. That's what I've been doing, like, to be honest, my whole life. That's what I'm trying to work on now. It's like everything that happened in my life, like it's been some crazy. Like my mother passed away within this preparation, and I do not take the time to really take that
To take it in.
Take it in, like what just happened. And I had the same thing with my father. It was like right before the Ben Sadiq fight. And I just take it and I continue. Because what I do, I take it and it's a certain emotional pain. And I use that to put it in physical pain so I can use it as fuel for what I do in the ring and whatever, for as my job. But I feel like personally in relationships and just in general, in just living, I think that's not the way to cope with it. So that's what I'm trying to work on now.
So it's very difficult to be balanced if you also want to be excellent.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best, you know, if you want to be and accomplish what you've accomplished, you have to be obsessed. And if you have to be obsessed, it's almost impossible to be balanced. It's almost impossible to have a balanced life and also be obsessed on a goal.
No, 100%. But I don't feel like it's so much about the balance, but it's just not the way to cope with life in general.
Right.
Next to being an athlete and being a fighter, which is a big part of what you do, but just like in general, like okay, how do you cope with things, especially now with this, for example, with this loss? Is like, how do I find a way to give this loss and a way of like, okay, that I can work with it without like feeling frustrated or like, oh, I got robbed or whatever.
Right.
So, and I feel like that's getting better. So I watched my mom's funeral back, like, I think like 4 or 5 weeks ago for the very first time. So she passed away in February. That's when I've watched it back for the first time, just to take it all in again. And again, I went like all the way through it, and I'm like, okay, I need to do that more to get, I don't know if it's balanced or just, I don't know, just to get like a way of feeling like, yeah, I can take that emotion in, because now I just, every time I'm just pushing that emotion away and just using it as fuel to be a fighter and be the best version of me within the ring. But like as a person, I don't feel like it's a healthy way to just like keep pushing everything.
No,
and
certainly
keep pushing
not.
it down.
Well, it's great that you recognize that, though, and that will definitely help you as you transition from being a fighter to being a retired fighter and doing whatever else you want to do.
Yeah.
You have so much time left in your life to do anything.
Yeah, 100%.
But
100%.
recognizing that is an issue is huge for your ability to move on to do other things. Because
100%.
that's a giant struggle for a lot of fighters. The struggle, especially fighters that have competed at your level, you know, the glory, the excitement, the chaos of it all is so huge that to step away from that, it's very, very difficult for a lot of guys.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy. And I also believe that what gave me this is that I found my new passion within acting. But so being on set with Jake Gyllenhaal, with Dave Bautista, with Aldous Hodge, and those guys being so excellent at what they're doing as actors, and then just talking with them about this, I think that also gave me more and more that realization of, hey, instead of just like pushing it away, I can use those emotions and that feeling to be an actor at a certain point. So, and I always said, like, I just kept pushing it away. I said, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. And as soon as I feel it, I turn it into physical pain. So I know I get to be a better version of me within the ring. So I hear what you're saying, but if you want to get into acting, it's good to feel. Because as soon as you feel, it's even better. It's going to transition even better on camera. Because then we see that you're feeling something. And if it comes out of your own experience, it's even better. It hurts still, but you can turn it into something positive. And that's where I'm really happy about. Like, after being a fighter, I really found my new passion within acting, because it's so much fun.
That's
so
great.
much fun to be on set and being great at something else.
Yeah, that's great that you found something else that you're excited about. That's really important. Very important. So how many movies have you done?
I did a few. I think like a handful. And I think the most recognizable things I did was Den of Thieves, Pantera, Den of Thieves 2.
Oh, nice.
With Gerard and O'Shea Jackson Jr. And the last one, Roadhouse. So and now, of course, I've been talking with Jason like for quite some time now to do something together. So we're looking at different options. Like, hey, we could do this. But he's like, he has a certain focus on what he sees. Like, hey, Rico, I want you to do like this type of movie, and I want you to be this type of character because I don't want you to die, and I want you to do this, I want you to do that. So it's for him being so experienced within that world. I just
also
take
him
it in.
coming as an athlete as well. Like,
Exactly.
he was a world-class diver, right?
Yeah. So, and he's a martial arts fanatic. He
Right.
loves it.
Yeah,
he
he
loves
does.
it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So and then telling him that like, hey, I love to act. So he comes to my fights. I visit him on set. Like, hey, I just look at what he does and how he does it. It's out of this world. It's the next level.
Well, that's so good that you have something that you're really excited about as you retire, like transitioning into that, and that you already have some success with that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's huge.
100%. You
That's-
have
and
to.
Dave Bautista is another one, like, right? Like, huge success in WWE,
Yeah.
went on to do that, and now he's done a ton of movies. So.
Yeah, and he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Really
He's a
good.
very
It's-
good actor.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, he's an athlete that
Right.
tried to do some acting. No, he's a really good actor, and he showed so many different sides
Mm-hmm.
of himself.
He was great in that. What was it? The Glass Onion? Was that what it was called? Yeah. What is that?
Knives Out.
Yeah. Knives Out, Glass Onion, right? That's what it was called. He was great in that.
Yeah.
He's great. Again, it's like you see these big guys and you say, oh, they're big and they're just going to play a brute. But no, it's like
Exactly.
he's a human.
Yeah.
Human beings have depth. You
Yeah.
could do a lot of different things.
Yeah, exactly. So
He's losing weight now, just like show. He's like
yeah, but
more
he
serious.
looks
He's still
amazing
fucking
now.
gigantic.
Yeah, he's still big.
He's still 200. I mean, like, oh, he's so small. He's 240. He's
Yeah.
huge.
No, he's huge and he's in great shape. He's in great. I mean, he's the nicest guy as well.
Oh, that's cool.
He's the nicest guy. So we had a lot of fun. So it was such an honor to be there on set with them and on such a big production. It's like, wow, just looking at it.
So how do you balance that out? Like now that you, like as you said, you're in the winter of your career. Would you accept a movie role right now if you knew that a big fight could potentially happen?
No.
So you have to be careful right now.
Yeah. For me, it's like I'm focused on finishing that, and as soon as I have a movie, I'm like, okay, but then I'm not gonna do a fight. It's gonna be hard. So, and especially within the other one, I didn't really get the option because I was on Roadhouse, and then I got the Anthony Joshua fight. But back then, I was just the kickboxer,
Right.
The kickboxer world champion, but that didn't really say too much. So I was in the underdog position. I was in the passenger seat. Now I show what I can do. So now I got a little more like, yo guys, I got a movie, so can we push the fight a little bit further so I have the time to get ready for it?
Right.
So that's better now. But for me, I would never blend those two together or like, hey, okay, let me finish this movie real quick and then go straight into a fight camp that's going to be like 2.5 months. I need a good, like, clean 4 months to get ready for a fight of this magnitude.
Right. So when you're talking about these different conversations that people have had with you, is the door completely closed to the UFC? Because I know that they did contact you, and they were talking about you fighting, and that they were going to try to do that Derek Lewis fight.
Yeah.
I was excited about that.
Yeah,
But
me too.
the money was nowhere near, I'm sure, the money that you got for the Usyk fight.
So I believe that the gap is even bigger now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think that's where the actual problem is, just to be completely transparent. So for me, it doesn't make any sense to
Right.
go around the bush or whatever.
And
Like,
go
I don't know.
backwards
No.
financially. Yeah.
If they would want to do something, it really has to make sense. But yeah, we all know that. Yeah, that's not really like how the UFC works. So
Right.
I don't believe that is an option.
Well, it's
that
interesting
option
because
is
their
on the table.
heavyweight division is so. Have you ever worked with Tom Aspinall?
Of course, he's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
we,
right.
we trained. We
I've
trained
seen
so,
video of you guys training
Yeah, we
together.
trained so much already for like I think close to 10 years.
Man, he got a bad deal. He got really fucked over for that fight. The way people got upset at him for stopping the fight with those eye pokes, to me, that drove me crazy. Like, what do you expect the guy to do?
Yeah.
He's defending the heavyweight title. He get poked in the eyes and he can't fucking see. And he's had 2 eye surgeries since then.
And he's the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy, and he works incredibly hard. And he would never, even though, because I understand where it comes from the people to a certain extent, because they feel like, hey, Gan was doing so good in the beginning of the fight, but it was just the beginning of the fight. It was just like the first round or whatever. So it's possible that, hey, because of some ring rust, you had to get into it, and then the fight ain't over till it's over, right? So you can have an opinion about that the first round, and I get an eye poke. Oh, now he's gonna stop because he knew he was behind or whatever. He would never in whatever world do that because he has
No,
a
if you
fighter
looked
heart.
at the eye poke, he was knuckle deep in his eyeball.
Yeah, it was like gone.
Yeah, I mean,
like in the back of his
unfortunately,
brain.
Cyril Gahn has a history of doing that. He's
And
done
also,
that.
and definitely, I truly believe, because I know Cyril as well, he's also a very nice guy, and I do not believe he's doing that intentionally to fuck with people or whatever.
It's just a bad
I-
instinct that keeps happening.
Yeah, maybe it's a
see
habit
guy
or
charging
whatever, yeah.
at you, you're doing this,
Yeah.
and you're running right into eyeballs. It's just they need to stop doing it. I mean, there's a bunch of different conversations about how to stop it.
Yeah.
One of them is change the gloves. You don't need open fingers like that. They don't have.
No?
You don't need that for grappling. No, they could cover the tip of it like a mitten. And there's
Yeah.
a way to do that where it would probably eliminate a lot of the eye pokes. Another one is there's a guy named Trevor Whitman from Onyx Sports, who's Justin Gaethje's trainer, who makes a much better glove.
Okay.
And in his glove, your hand is in this position all the time. Instead of the UFC glove, glove, your hand's like this.
Yeah, your fingers
you
are
have
open.
to pull it down
Yeah.
to tighten up a fist. With Trevor's gloves, it's curved like this.
So
this is a natural
as soon as
position.
you do this,
So
yeah.
you would, like when Muay Thai fighters, like Cyril Gahn, they frame off like that all the time,
Yeah.
right? You know that.
Yeah.
So when you have those UFC gloves, you're framing off like this.
Yeah.
And that's when you're running into eye pokes.
Yeah.
So they try to tell you, keep your fingers up, which is great, but sometimes it doesn't
Yeah,
work
you-
that way.
exactly. You can't,
Especially if
like-
you're leaning away.
Yeah.
I don't think Cyril Gahn's a dirty fighter. I just think he's trying to finish fights. Like Alex Pereira thought he was dirty for hitting him in the back of the head. And I watched the fight over again to watch it. And what I saw is Alex is moving, Cyril's trying to hit him. And sometimes when that happens, some of the shots are going to land on the back of the head.
Yeah.
But what?
But is it the referee that needs to say hey, stop it?
Yes.
We're fighting, so you got to try and
It's
punch
hard.
whatever you got to punch.
It's hard because you're also like he might not have the best position to see it because it's chaos, and also like if you're trying to hit like a guy right here and then his head moves and then you hit the back of the head,
Yeah.
whose fault is that? Is that
Yeah.
your fault? Are you supposed to pull back? You're in the middle of a shot. It's very difficult to stop. It's hard to say, but when you look at his performance in that fight against Alex Pereira, it was fucking extraordinary, man. We were as a group chat I have with a few friends of mine, Dean Thomas and Matt Serra and John Rollo. We do a podcast together, and we were just talking about it, how basketball is a phenomenal base for some of these guys because Cyril Gahn, I'm gonna show you. I'll send you this video. I'll send it to Jamie. Cyril Gahn can fucking move, man, and some of
He's light-feeted as well.
and he's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's the way he moves is so extraordinary. And I think some of that is because of basketball. Because, well, no, it's not that one.
This is a brand new video. He's playing against the NBA center here.
Oh, man. There's multiple videos of it then because he's pretty sick.
Yeah,
But that's one of them.
I was with him. We did a little moving around together on Den of Thieves 2.
Oh, okay.
He was in there. We were in the scene together, so that was fun.
It's just having a guy
And he's such
that
a
can-
nice guy. He's like
Very
so
nice guy.
light.
So light.
He moves around so like.
And so hard to hit, man.
Yeah.
He's never been in trouble. in the fight. I mean, he got finished by John Jones, but that was a submission.
Yeah.
And Francis Ngannou just beat him by grappling.
Yeah.
But he's never been like rocked or staggered. He hardly gets hit.
Because
his movement is so
exactly,
extraordinary.
especially for a big
Yeah.
guy. But that's why I believe. But Tom has that as well.
Yes.
He has that move. He is light
Well,
on
his
feet.
blitz is extraordinary. His ability to cover distance is insane.
Yeah.
And he's got one punch knockout power.
Yeah,
against
he's
the
so
best.
explosive. Like boom,
Yeah.
he can. That's. I believe he can be a good boxer, but he can also be a good kickboxer, and he's a good MMA fighter.
Yes.
He's so all around because when he came to kickbox, wow.
Well,
It's like
I just hate that fans reacted the way they reacted, and it's the casual ones, it's the shitheads. You
Yeah.
know, for me, I was like, God, you got to give the guy some grace. He got his eye poked out. I mean, he literally was knuckle deep in his eyes. For anyone to think that he should be fighting with one eye like that, who
Doesn't
cares?
make any
Keep
sense.
fighting. That's
Doesn't make any sense.
insane. He got fouled. It's not because of a punch. It's not because of he got kicked or an elbow. It's a foul. And so, no, the fight should have been stopped the way it was, and that everybody should understand that. It's not his fault.
No,
it was his
exactly.
opponent's fault.
But how he got to this was like because of the whole deal he has. Like how much sense does it make for me to get into the UFC? Because Conor got like a great deal now for his last fight.
No, for you,
But-
boxing makes the most sense,
Yeah.
especially at this point in your life financially. And you know, for Tom, I mean, he has a potential career in boxing as well. And now that Eddie Hearn is managing him, which is very exciting,
Yeah.
because you know, Matchroom being behind him, he's going to have a gigantic hype machine,
Yeah.
gigantic promotion. Like, I think it's huge, and that they're at odds with the UFC. Like, for me, I care about the fighters making the most money possible.
Exactly.
And that's how he's going to make the most money possible.
Yeah, but like you said, that's what I believe. Like all the fighters deserve the fighters that bring in the viewers that are
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, they should earn a little bit more, right? That is,
100%.
everything should be in balance.
100%. And that's, I mean, this is where Turkey Al-Sheikh has really ramped up the game, really raised the bar.
Yeah.
Because he's getting guys to fight that didn't want to fight each other.
No, exactly.
And he's like, how about this amount? And they're
Exactly.
like, okay.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But that's how we got the biggest fight. But next to that, with him giving me the opportunity as well, what he does is he thinks outside of the box, and that's what I love so much about
Right.
what he does. Because we had also the Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury fight,
Right.
and that was also like
Crazy, right?
I don't know about that.
Zero professional boxing matches for Francis.
Exactly.
Right?
So that decision was also a little bit controversial. Like, you
Very
think, like,
controversial.
I don't know. So, but that's why I like what he does. He thinks outside of the box. Like, hey, no, I like this idea. Yeah, let's just
Well, how
try
about
it.
Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez? That's way outside the box.
Yeah.
You got a guy moving up 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
To fight an all-time great. I mean, and a lot of people thought Canelo's too big. Canelo's too big.
Wow, that was an amazing fight.
Oh my God.
That was an
Terrence
amazing
Crawford
fight.
is one of the greatest of all time.
100%.
He is so smooth. It's so good. When he was just pap, 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 rip, and,
Yeah.
and doing that to Canelo
Canelo, yeah.
Alvarez.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. It
Yeah.
was amazing to watch a guy that's that skillful and have those skills and, you know, move up multiple weight classes.
Yeah, incredible.
And pull it off against a guy like Canelo. And again,
And everybody said like, oh, he's not gonna have a shot because Canelo's gonna be too big. As soon as he hit him,
Yeah.
he's gonna get rocked. And he's like, no, I think no, that was incredible. And they were all at the fight in pyramids, by the way.
Yeah.
that was also pretty
well, it's
cool.
also Terrence is very smart, and Terrence prepared for that fight for like a year.
Yeah.
And put on some weight, but not too much. You know, he did a lot of
just enough.
weightlifting, but just enough.
Yeah.
But just also he was healthier because he didn't have to cut so much weight.
No.
That's a thing to take into consideration. You got a guy who's cutting all that weight to make all the different weight classes that he was champion in, all
Yeah.
the way up to 154, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have to cut weight. Well, guess what? He's probably walking around 176, 177
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah. So
So it was
Didn't have to-
probably a better performance for him, like
Yeah.
physically. He probably felt much better.
yeah.
And he's also used to faster guys, and he's so light on his feet.
100%. 100%. That was so exciting. So that's what he does. He makes the fights that otherwise would have been made.
Right.
So, and I think I respect him for that so much, and I'm thankful for that as well. So let's see what he's going to pull out of the hat this time for me.
Well, I mean, for sure now people are going to be excited about you fighting again. And it's even more marketable by far than the first fight was. I just hope it's a rematch. I really do, because I think that's the just fight to have.
Yeah.
That's the correct fight to have, a rematch. When a fight is that close and ends that controversially, and then the judging is the scoring is that bad, the right thing to do is to have a rematch.
Yeah, and then in a different, like I said, in a different environment, in a different
Vegas.
situation. That
Vegas or Madison Square Garden?
I gotta be honest, Joe. They're both still on the bucket list.
Yeah.
I fought in New York, but it was like in in a ballroom, something. I can't even remember what it was, but it was, I think, 2012 or something. So Madison Square Garden and Vegas are still on the bucket list.
Look, Vegas is great, but Madison Square Garden is iconic.
Yeah.
There's something about being in that building. Every time we have fights, we do a UFC in that building. It's like, wow, we're in the Garden. Like that is a special place to be.
So many things that happened there.
So
Concerts
many
and
things.
Basketball, whatever.
Everything.
So
many
epic.
concerts, so many fights, so many everything. It's just, and it's also in New York City. And as much as New York City's crazy and it's like it's beep beep and honk honk and fuck you,
Yeah.
and it's still New York motherfucking city.
Yeah.
And to have a great world championship fight in New York City is something special. There's something you feel different when they say live from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's-
oh shit,
yeah,
it's the
you feel
Garden.
it. Yeah.
You know, it's when you're in the room, when we have fights there, being in the room feels different.
Yeah, no,
It does.
100%. But that's also one of the things that he did. A fight on Times Square.
I know.
Who thinks of that? Like,
I know.
And the thing is for him, I believe that when you hear something and you say, nah, that's not possible. I think that's the right trigger. That's exactly the trigger he needs. Like, I'll make it possible. I'll make it happen. It's the same with the pyramids, and then with the Times Square. It's like, nah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, they have a bottomless bank account.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's like they can just
they make things possible.
they just throw so much money at guys, like, and that is exciting. I mean, that's something that boxing has needed because it took so long to get Floyd Mayweather to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Right. That was a gigantic fight that took forever, and arguably Manny was past his prime when they wound up actually fighting again,
Yeah.
which pissed a lot of people off. If they had been around back then, if Turkey Al-Sheikh had been around back then, and Riyadh season had been around back then, they probably would have made that happen when they're in their prime.
100%.
That's
100%.
that's what boxing needs. That's what MMA needs. That's what everybody needs.
Yeah.
The UFC does that in MMA. They kind of force guys to fight.
Yeah.
You can't get away from it.
No,
You
but
know?
only the payday is different. But
Yes, but at the highest levels, guys like Conor, they're making similar money.
Yeah.
But it's just that needs to change in terms of it has to be enticing enough that you're going to get the best athletes that realize, like, hey, I don't have to go into basketball. I don't have to go. What I really like is fighting.
Yeah.
And there's enough money in fighting now.
yeah,
That's
100%.
like everything else.
But that's the problem, like we just talked about. We started off with the whole kickboxing. There's no money to be made.
Right. That is the problem.
So, well, I made
Maybe
I made
MVP
good
can
money.
figure that out because they're dedicated to entering into the MMA space now, and they just merged with the PFL.
Yeah.
Which I think is very exciting because I think competition is good. Competition is great, and the more competition, the better, and definitely better for the fighters to have options.
100%.
And they've got guys over there in the PFL now that are fucking world class, man. They've got some world class fighters.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's exciting to have. They just need to get bigger in terms of the public's recognition.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now, everybody
to-
thinks of UFC of being MMA, UFC, and it's like PFL for the average casual is like, what? Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that?
What do they do?
Right.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, Joe, if we look at 10 years ago, combat sports is at its all-time high. boxing, MMA, kickboxing. Everything is like
Right.
going through the roof. So
Yeah,
I think
everything is bigger now.
I think we're in a very blessed position.
Well,
And
20 years ago, nobody even knew what MMA was.
Exactly.
21 years ago was the first Ultimate Fighter, season 1,
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
And that was really when MMA kind of made it onto the map in terms of the general public understanding of it.
Yeah. No,
From the
100%.
Ultimate Fighter and that Stephan Bonner-Forrest Griffin fight.
Yeah.
But you could see a world where kickboxing could enter into that, 10 years from now, be in a similar category. And I think it should be. I really do.
And it's just because of the modern day world, because of social media and so many different people coming into the sport. And people can say and have an opinion about it. But, for example, with Jake Paul and etc. and all the influencers, but they're bringing a lot of new eyes to the combat
Yes.
sport, to
Yes.
boxing, to
a lot of new eyes.
So I think
Could you imagine if an organization got behind a guy like Ramon Deckers
Yeah.
and showed him to the American public when he was in his prime? People would be like, holy shit,
He's a
who
fighting
is this
machine.
guy?
Yeah.
This fucking monster, this animal,
Yeah.
this technical animal,
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. That's the thing about where you come from, too. Like, for people that don't know, kickboxing in Holland, that is the epicenter of world championship kickboxing.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Kamen, Ernesto Hughes,
Yeah.
so Peter
Peter
Aerts.
Aerts, yeah.
Oh, my God. You could go on and on and on and
legends.
on and on. So many of the greatest kickboxers, of course, Ramon Deckers,
Yeah.
but so many of the greatest kickboxers of all time came from Holland.
100%.
We mentioned Badr Hari. So many of these great, Melvin Manhoef,
Yeah.
so many of these great guys
100%.
came out of Holland.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts if you
Yeah,
really
it is.
think about it.
Yeah. Now we're such a small country, and everybody exchanges their intelligence with each other. And I believe that because we're such a small country, that's what increases the level so much. Everybody trains also with each other. Go there, we go sparring with them, we go sparring with them, we go sparring with them. And then you learn this from that guy, you learn that from that guy. And if you do that, for example, in the U.S., you want to train with somebody out from New York, you got to fly all the way there. You're not going to stay
Right.
there too long. I think it just takes too much time. And because in our country, we can just drive anywhere. But it's also one of the reasons why pay-per-view never worked there. Because if they wanted to visit an event, just drive there. Like, I'm not gonna stay home and pay for it. That doesn't make any sense. I'll just drive there and just go watch it live.
Well, that's also why the crowds were so huge.
Yeah.
Because you guys got massive crowds for some of those
we're selling
kickboxing
out
fights.
arenas and
People
with the
don't
right
know.
fights.
In America, they don't know how big kickboxing is. In Holland, in the Netherlands, it's gigantic.
Yeah. No, it's like I think number 2 sport.
That's
after
crazy.
soccer.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy if you think about it. It's such a small. How many people even live in Holland?
16, 17 million. Yeah.
That's nuts. It's a small country with the greatest kickboxers of all time. It's like it's an anomaly. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird how it happened.
Yeah, and also like I think this now for the last after for the last 10 years, we've been so good in kickboxing for the last 25 years or even longer. But now, since the last 10 years, it's been recognized as well for the public. We've always been good at it, but it's always been like, I don't know, a little bit shady or whatever. And now, since the last 10 years, since me and Badr put it on the map, just exploded. And everybody just, went behind it. Like, wow, this is cool. This is cool to watch. We're good at this. We're the best in the world at this sport.
Are
So
there gyms all over the place in Holland?
It was crazy. At a certain point, it was so crazy that every random guy could become a kickboxing teacher. So now, because it became so big and so public, they started to do it like, okay, you gotta get like a diploma and a certificate to become a kickboxing trainer. You cannot just random say like, hey, I'm a kickboxing trainer, start kickboxing, start teaching people. But at a certain point, that was the case.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it's
So what
huge now.
happened? How did Holland become so big in kickboxing?
I think with Ramon Dekkers and everything, they went to Thailand and just sucked all the information out of that. And we had fighters, trainers going there, and they took the Muay Thai of it, and they took that to the Netherlands, and then exchanged, like I said, because the country is so small, they exchange everything with each other. Like this guy learned that guy learned that, and if you exchange that with each other, you just get better and you get smarter.
But it also has to be something about the culture,
And maybe
the
just
mentality
genetics.
of the
We're pretty
Big people.
pretty big people.
But Ramon Dekkers was not big.
No, he was not big.
Which
But
was one of the most extraordinary parts of his career was that he was competing against Thais at their weight.
but in Muay Thai.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That was insane with elbows and it was brutal.
But
I
his
didn't-
boxing too was a giant factor.
so explosive.
So explosive, and his style was so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like he was
He just
feral.
kept on going.
He was
Kept on
feral.
going.
He was
Yeah.
just like. The people who haven't seen, please go to YouTube and watch Ramon Dekkers highlights.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. It is.
Oh my God! Some of the highlights of his knockout highlights,
Yeah.
holy shit, man!
It's incredible.
Everything was designed to kill you.
Yeah.
Every shot, every leg kick,
Yeah,
every
and he
liver shot, every
Yeah.
punch to the face, everything was just
It was with
full
power
speed ahead.
and power, explosive.
Smash.
Yeah.
His
Wow.
ankle was so fucked up that his doctor told him, you can't keep kicking with that thing. You're going to, lose your ankle.
Yeah.
Fucking
Wow.
taped it up,
I remember
blam, still
I was
blasting
I
people.
was like a kid, and I was watching these fights. Oh my God, it was. And then with him being so explosive, and then kicking on a block, on a knee or on an elbow, she's like, bop, bop,
Just right
it's
into
just
it.
it's just bone on bone. It's just by looking at it, just hurts.
Just destroyed his ankle because
Yeah.
of that. I mean, in his later fights, later in his years, like when he fought Dwayne Ludwig, he had to have his ankle taped
Yeah.
all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Big thing was hanging on by a thread.
But that's what we were talking about earlier. It's we as fighters putting our health on the line for entertainment.
I mean, forever. He died young.
Yeah, he died young, but okay, that happens. You do that because you love the sport, but then everything needs to be transparent and it needs to be safe and with the
You need to be
judging and
compensated.
it needs to be in best, so money wise and with the judging and everything just needs to be right, because what we do is out of this world.
Yes.
And it's not just kickboxing, it's boxing, it's MMA. That's what
Yes.
that's
and
what we
it's the
do.
reason why it's so exciting. It's part of the reason why it's so exciting is we know how dangerous it is.
Exactly, but and that's why I feel like it has to be fair and it needs to be compensated the right way.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, he's making so much money." Yeah, okay, but he can't do that till he's 65 or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's such a small window, which is one of the things that's so extraordinary about your career, that you've managed to stay on top for so long.
Yeah.
Because generally when we look at world-class fighters, there's a rule that a lot of experts supposedly have said, is that it's about 9 years.
Yeah.
You can only really compete in your prime for 9 years. You've shown yourself to be an exception to that rule because you've been competing in your prime for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, and you're not dropping off at all. And you weren't dropping off. You were still dominant in kickboxing when you decided to step away.
Yeah.
So it's even though you are an outlier and that you've been able to extend it longer than anybody, it's still, there's a window. You're not going to be able to do this when you're 50.
No.
You're not going to be able to do this when you're 60. It's you have a small window where you can compete, and it's the people are paying to see you.
Yeah.
They're not paying to see the promoter. They're not paying to see anything else. They're not paying to hear the commentators. They're
Exactly.
paying to see the fighters perform
100%.
at the very highest level of the most exciting sport on earth.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying this, because it's not as much for me anymore, because I'm close to being finished.
Right.
Like we said, I'm in the winter of my career, but it's for the next generation.
Yes.
The next generation should be excited to get into combat sports and feel like, hey, I want to do this because I can, and it is fair, it is transparent, and I'm fighting, but I can make a very good living out of this, and I could like build like generational wealth with it.
Well, that's what's really good about like this MVP PFL merger and having a bunch of hype on that. Like the more competition, the better. The
100%.
more the more eyes on the sport, the more people watch the sport, the more money will be in the sport,
Yeah.
and then the more the fighters will have options for who to fight for.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the best thing, like you just said, like options.
Yeah,
As soon as
no,
you-
it's phenomenal.
If you have options, that's the best thing ever, right?
Yeah,
So like, hey, we got this, we got that, and it's not that you gotta like play them out against each other, but still, it is a good thing because if you just have one option, it's like, hey, take it or leave it.
Exactly.
This is what it is, and if you get like, the other guy's saying this, so let me go there.
reality is we could use one more. You know, not just MVP, but also another. I wish one was doing better. You know, if one was doing better and they
Yeah.
were a viable option as well. Because I know some guys did go over there with great success, like Mighty Mouse went over there with great
Yeah.
success. We need more. We need more options for fighters, and you know, it's unusual in that in boxing, for instance, what's really important is the name of the fighters.
Yeah.
That's what's important. You know, if Dimitri Bivol is fighting, it's people are going to see, they don't
Yeah.
give a fuck who the promoter is.
No.
They want to see Bivol fight.
Yeah.
You know, if it's Artur Beterbiev, they want
Yeah.
to see him fight. That's all.
100%.
That's all everybody gives a shit about. In MMA, it's UFC.
Yeah.
And the exception to that was, of course, this last MVP card where Ronda Rousey fought.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's a legend. She's fighting," and Francis Ngannou was on the card.
Yeah.
So a lot of eyeballs got on that. So we need more of that. And more of
100%.
that is
And-
good for
And
everybody.
just like build, like we just talked about, build stories around those people.
Yes.
Who are those people next to
Right.
being fighters? Okay, they're incredibly amazing in what they do in the ring or in the octagon or whatever. Okay, but who is the person behind?
Right.
Behind. Okay, he's a father. Oh, really? He has two. I never knew.
Right. Oh, he likes to play chess.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
oh.
So that gives
Yeah, yeah,
that gives
yeah.
them so much more depth,
Mm-hmm.
and I also believe that makes them more human.
Yes,
So
for sure. Seeing their
the-
family, seeing
Exactly.
them interact with their
So
kids.
everybody gets like closer to. Oh wow, this guy could be my neighbor.
Right. Right.
Because
right.
he also has kids. Oh, he brings his kids to school and
Yeah,
whatever.
you're
and-
invested in him.
Yeah.
Like you like him, you want
Yeah.
him to win.
100%.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it, and that's something that they need to do. And I think you're right about Glory. They really never did that. That was not really a part of the Glory promotion.
No, they were just like put up fights, put the best
Chaos.
versus the best, and just
Listen,
like,
for me,
It
I
worked.
didn't care. It was
Yeah.
fucking great. I
Yeah,
love it.
it worked.
I'm a giant Glory fan, man. Every time there's a card, I can't
Yeah.
wait.
but
I
like,
watch it, and people are like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Glory's on." They're like, "What the fuck is Glory?"
Never heard. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
heard about that.
It's like even my friends in MMA don't understand.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
The people that the trainers and everybody, they a lot of times they get like the Glory fighters in to prepare their fighters to get into UFC.
Yeah, yeah.
Or for
well,
big fights or whatever, because like, hey, they know that their stand up is on another
elite
level. Yeah.
elite. I mean, and like I said, ONE FC has a lot of elite fighters. They're especially at the lighter weight classes. There's a lot of real Jonathan Haggerty. He just beat Yuki Yoza, who's another guy. This guy from Japan is
Yeah.
a Kyokushin guy who fucks up people's legs. And He's
Yeah.
really good. And then there's this guy from Dagestan who might be the best striker alive. Azadullah Imangazaliev. This dude, he's really tall and he fights at 135 pounds and
Yeah.
he's fucking nasty, man.
Crazy.
He's so technical, undefeated, and he's
Yeah.
from Dagestan. Like,
Crazy.
there's so many savages that are coming
Yeah.
out of Dagestan. Just
100%.
straight up killers, man.
Yeah.
There's a dude who just won in the PFL, Magomedov, who just won in the PFL this past weekend.
Yeah, I saw
Another
that,
guy.
yeah.
He fights like Imam Ghazaliev.
Yeah.
Real similar. Both guys from Dagestan. Similar styles,
Yeah,
man.
I love it.
His question mark kicks and elite stabbing front kicks and
Yeah.
just real slick stand up. You know, but in ONE FC, they're having these guys fighting, and you know, it's really big in Asia, but it just has not caught on in America.
No, and I think that's also where the problem is. I think with them, but also with Glory, they're just like pouring in money, and at a certain moment, it's like I also understand like the one that's investing into like how much money am I gonna need to pour in this
Right.
before it's gonna do something.
You know, they asked me to be a part of that at one point in time. They wanted me to be like the Dana White of glory. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time.
Exactly, because if you were gonna say I don't have that type of money, I'm not gonna look at you like, come on.
It's the time. It would be the time.
You're so busy. You're so cool.
You would have. I know how hard Dana works.
Yeah.
Dana works all day, every day. That guy's always doing something. He's always got deals going. He's always on the phone. He's always meetings and the headaches and canceled fights and this and that, and trying to make things happen and promotions and press conferences. And it's like,
they want to change.
I would never half-ass something like that. And you can't do that. To be a promoter is a lot. That is a full-time.
It's a full-time
job.
Yeah, you got to go in there.
And Dana set the bar very, very high, and he's the best ever. I think I think he's the greatest promoter of all time. And for me to do that, like I couldn't. There's no way.
No, that's why it's so cool that he jumps into boxing now.
Yeah.
That he's gonna give that.
Yeah. Very
a
excited.
try and see
Well,
what
I mean,
Zufa's gonna
people
do.
are, always nervous when a new guy steps into the sport, but I think it's only better
especially
for
with
boxing.
his reputation.
Yeah. It's only, with money, with, and the amount of money they're throwing at the boxers. The MMA guys are like, hey,
What are you
what
doing?
the fuck? Like,
But
where's
the-
that
yeah.
money for us? But,
but
you
they
know,
still need to build up.
it's all good for everybody. The more money there is in the sport, the more attention, the more excitement. It's better for everybody.
Yeah,
It's
but
better
how
for
cool
everybody.
would that be if there would be a world where MMA fighters, UFC fighters, would also be able to get into Zufa and like, hey, you're a good boxer. We see like maybe there's something.
This
to
is
do
possible
there.
that they would do that, but right now they're not concentrating on that. They're just
No,
concentrating
they
on
first need to
yeah.
position themselves as, but like for the future.
It would be, but then if you got a big star, like say if you take a guy like Max Holloway or someone like that, and he decides he wants to box for a while, that means he's not going to be able to fight an MMA fight. So that would like cut off their own access to him as an MMA fighter, and he's a huge star.
Yeah, but maybe then he attracts different eyeballs.
Yeah,
to,
but to do it right, you got to do it like kind of like when Conor did it with Floyd. He took a whole year off, and
Yeah.
he was just boxing. I
Yeah.
mean, he really, really concentrated on that.
Then
and
you
then
can't get like go back into MMA again because then
kind of messed him up.
Yeah.
It kind of messed
you're
him
right.
up going
You're
back
right.
in MMA again. He
Yeah.
didn't have the same momentum. It wasn't the same
Yeah.
amount of training. Training lost with grappling and especially with kickboxing.
Yeah.
You're only doing boxing. That training lost. Like
Yeah.
you have to recalibrate your whole
Yeah,
brain. It
you're
takes
right.
forever.
Yeah,
And
it was
arguably-
just excitement.
Yeah.
It was just my excitement. Put it out there, but
Listen,
as
for some guys, it
we
might be a
talk
good
about it.
option, and for some guys, especially after knee injuries,
Yeah.
where boxing is not as hard on the knees, you could say that, especially when it comes to grappling and leg kicks, especially like those guys that throw those side kicks to the knee. Oh my
And
God.
those calf kicks.
Yo,
Wow.
I know. Crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Oh, it's very, but then also after that, after they saw that within UFC, within MMA, in kickboxing, they also started trying doing that.
Isn't it nuts that it took forever for the calf kick to be
Yeah.
a potent weapon like
But
that?
it's so dangerous. It's also dangerous because if you hit the shin, it's like, oh, it's the last kick you throw.
Yeah.
But if you do it right,
Yeah, if you do it right, like Alex Pereira destroys people's legs, destroys them.
I don't even know how it looks like he kicks him with the foot, with the side of the. It's not even really like a low kick or whatever.
It's weird.
Yeah,
he does
it's
it weird, and he does it with no tell.
No.
tell.
Like,
no switching of the hips at all. He
Yeah.
just throws the leg out there, and it only takes a couple.
Yeah.
It takes a couple, and then your leg's fucked, and then you
Yeah.
see guys switch his stances.
Yeah,
you
then
see
it's
him
over.
moving funny.
Then it's over.
That kid that I was talking about in Japan, Yuki Yoza, he's
Yeah.
phenomenal at that, man. His calf kicks are insane. He's just in every exchange, he's kicking the calves, inside and outside. A Kyokushin guy.
Yeah.
So it's just all just hard style,
Yeah.
inside, outside,
But
inside, outside.
What is your opinion on that? Because me and my trainer, we were debating the calf kick because next to it being super effective, it's also a long-term injury when you get put out by calf kicks.
Yeah.
Because that injury stays there for quite a while.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
So do you think like it's a thing that should stay? Or do you think
100%. It's effective. I mean, it's really.
Yeah.
Listen, if you
It's an
if you
entry.
can knee bar a guy, you could heel hook a guy, you can
Yeah.
rip his knee apart.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to calf kick.
Yeah.
This it's a weapon.
Yeah.
To take away that weapon when we know how effective it is, You got guys who are always used to standing heavy on that front leg. Now all of a sudden they can't do that
No.
anymore. Like Conor, perfect example. In the window between Conor taking time off, fighting Floyd Mayweather, fighting Khabib, and then getting back in MMA, then the calf kick came along. He never fought
got
with.
destroyed.
There was no calf kicks before. Dustin Poirier destroyed his leg.
Yeah.
In that first round, by the time the second round was rolling around in their second fight, he was already wobbling on that front leg.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy that it took so long for that one technique.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the thing you see, and like, hey, that's effective, and everybody started doing it.
But again, dangerous, like you said. You go. I mean, this is how Chris Weidman broke his leg.
Yeah.
You know, he threw a really hard low kick and he caught the knee. He caught the shin right below the knee and snapped his leg in half.
Yeah.
If it gets checked and you've hit it the wrong way, especially if you hit it the low part of yours and the high part of his, where it's thick and dense.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, but it's so effective. It has to stay.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me more than that is
okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. I leave
the
the
side
legs.
kicks
Yeah.
to the knee bother me more.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you ever see Khalil Roundtree and Modestas Bukauskas?
No.
You ever see that?
No.
Oh,
What,
it's the worst one of all time.
the one
Khalil,
you see the leg like.
it turned sideways. He threw a side kick, caught him on the front leg, and just turned his whole leg sideways. And he screamed, and the fight was
you
over.
rip everything apart.
Oh yeah, he had surgery. Had to have surgery after the fight. His leg was destroyed.
Yeah.
When John Jones fought Thiago Santos, I think it was Thiago Santos. I think it was. Yeah, Thiago Santos. He blew out both his legs. He had to have knee surgery on both legs after the fight. Both legs.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Because just throwing those oblique kicks and the side kick to the knee
Yeah.
blew out both his knees.
Yeah, that's a kick I don't like.
When Ian Gary fought Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's a top welterweight guy, one of the top contenders, he hit him with an oblique kick in his left knee, and his knee's been fucked ever since.
Yeah.
And he had to have surgery, had a second surgery, and he's still out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
what bothers me about that is that you might not ever recover. If your knee gets ripped to shreds, your meniscus gets torn apart, your ACL, MCL gets blown out. So this is Khalil Roundtree. Watch this. Oh yeah. Watch it from this angle. Look at how oh man, it screams. Horrible. Horrible. I wonder about that one.
Look at that. Oh, look.
Because
at
I
that.
feel like that one maybe is too much.
Yeah.
Because it's just like
It's just
You're-
a career ending.
a career
kicks.
ender. Yeah. I mean, if I don't know. I'm torn. Because on one hand, it's like it doesn't happen that often, and you should be able to defend against it. And knowing it exists, you have to be able to defend against it. But the thing is, one kick could change, and you're out for a year.
Yeah,
And like we said, a fighter really only has X amount of years to compete.
Yeah, so it's
And one whole year gone from one kick is kind of crazy.
yeah. But by the way, it's pretty extraordinary how you do that. How you know all those names and fights from I don't know how long ago, and you're just like.
Yeah, but I don't remember a lot of other things. My memory is really, really good, but also kind of unreliable with some things.
It's just focused on.
It's focused on the things I care about, which is a lot of it is combat sports. But
amazing.
the knee one, that's the only one that really bothers me. That and I think knees to the head to a grounded opponent. I don't
No,
think
that's not. No, that's
you don't think they should be able to do that.
no.
I don't think you should be able to
But
turtle up. though.
even stomp on somebody's head, but they're not allowed to do that anymore.
You
right?
can't stomp, but
No.
you can in
But they-
Ryzen.
like-
Ryzen allows
Yeah,
those
like
guys
back
to
in the
stomp.
day, they did that.
Yep. They used to be able to stomp and soccer kick. But
That's yeah.
to think when a guy shoots on your legs and just curls up in a fetal position and just holds on, you shouldn't be able to do that. You should be able to knee that guy in the head because he doesn't have to hold on to that. If your knee is free and he can knee you in the face, you should have to adjust.
Yeah.
It's too legitimate of a technique.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard.
It's just, if somebody's on the ground, they're like,
The problem also is the cage versus the ring, because in a ring, soccer kicks make more sense and knees to the head make more sense because you can move around and you can get away from it because you could go under the rope. Like if a knee's coming to your head, there's movement, whereas the cage,
Yeah,
you're
you're
trapped
stuck.
right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's another element of the fight that's an unnecessary element. I think maybe even what karate combat's doing might be the best way to do it.
Those what is it? It's a mat.
It's like a bowl.
Yeah. It looks nice.
I think that might be the best way to do it. The only problem with that is when you get to the edge, you're stumbling because you're
It's like half, and you fall over it, and
But learn how to adjust to that, and that's better than a cage.
Yeah.
Because a cage is just a fucking physical wall.
Yeah.
So the thing about the ramp, the bowl, that shit doesn't help you get up at all.
No.
Like if somebody takes you down against that, that doesn't help you.
No,
Where a
exactly.
wall fucking helps you. And there's guys that are doing workouts now where they put their back up against a wall and they're doing kettlebell get-ups. Where they're
just to feel like
they're lifting up heavy kettlebells and they're doing it in stages, getting up from the ground just to emulate that position. But it's an element.
But that's where I feel like the ring has certain things, because I feel like if you do MMA in a ring and somebody shoots or whatever, then maybe they go through the ropes, they shoot
That's true too, right?
So that's dangerous. But and then
you see with
like
boxing,
you said,
like when Bernard Hopkins fought Joe Smith Jr. and he went through the ropes and fell and landed on his head.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's how the fight ended. It was like but I think that was just shitty planning. I think they should have pads around the ring, and they should, in case someone falls, you shouldn't just hope they don't fall. Have have a larger apron too.
Yeah,
that's you could fix a lot with a much larger apron. Where if a guy falls out, there's something around the edge of the ring. But I think a cage. The problem is, in most people's eyes, UFC equals cage.
Yeah.
Like you fight in a cage.
And the mindset of it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because you get locked up. You
Click.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
put that bar down. And
exactly.
click,
Like
lock that
you're
cage
not
in
going
place.
nowhere.
Yeah.
So
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. So it has something, but I hear what you're saying. But that's like we just talked about. Everything has its pros and its cons.
Everything has its pros and its cons, and everything is exciting in its own way. Like boxing on its own, like there's elements of boxing that you would not see if they were allowed to do leg kicks and elbows and all that. So there's something beautiful about just pure elite boxing.
100%.
And there's something pure about elite kickboxing. And then there's something pure about elite Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And then there's something pure about MMA, about watching it all together. It's all,
100%.
and jiu-jitsu as well. See, that's the other thing. The UFC's doing UFC Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So they have these big UFC Jiu-Jitsu matches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like
Cool. Yeah.
kickboxing.
Yeah, let's try it.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there, guys. I keep sending Dana White fights. I send him fights because I'm trying to get him to do this. I'm like, you should get involved. I think he's too busy.
Yeah.
He's too busy. He's also got that slap fight shit, so he's doing
that's
that.
also
It's
crazy. Yeah. Like I would
off.
never get into
Fuck
something.
off with that.
It's fun to watch, but it's like, oh my god.
It's fun.
It's like, well, why just stand there and just take a punch? I just like try to move around and just slip and slide. And, you
Will
just stand there.
Stand
and just,
there with your hands behind your back, holding onto a thing. Just take it on the face. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, you're a pretty big animal if you do that. But that's why for me, that like now experiencing boxing, I can really genuinely say that I see boxing as an art.
Oh, for sure.
And kickboxing it's been my life. It's brought me everything. So it's so much fun, but it's more intense, it's more brutal, and it's quick. It's like the pace is so fast, and in the championship fights were just 5 rounds.
Right.
So if you lose 1 round, you're like, oh. And now it's like I said, it's an art. You have 12 rounds, and I saw the Bivol Beterbiev fight, and then for the first so many rounds, Beterbiev was so much better, and then later in the round, and then Bivol still got the win. Like, wow, how cool is that?
Right.
Well, if you look at the fight, you think, like, oh, this is not gonna go well, and then
he adjusts.
Adjusts, and it changes. So it's like I said, I really feel like boxing is so much of an art, and you have 12 rounds to paint your masterpiece.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's
and if you
it's
appreciate
incredible.
that art form, if you really understand it and appreciate it, it's beautiful to watch. Like it's beautiful to watch, like Floyd when he was in his prime.
100%.
We barely would get hit, and Floyd, unlike anybody else, was standing right in front of everybody. He was barely getting hit. He was standing right there.
Yeah.
He wasn't running away and moving around. He was right in front of guys, and they couldn't hit him. Extraordinary.
And that's what I also liked or still like about Canelo, because after that fight, you saw the whole transition Canelo made. And he took, so I truly believe that he took so much from that fight with Mayweather. Because then he started applying it himself.
Unquestionably.
And like, pop, pop, he missing it. Like, oh, I love that.
Yes, unquestionably. Yeah, his head movement got much better after that fight. I mean, that's the thing that happens when you fight the elite. You get, Daniel Cormier always says, you get the rub. Like you fight an elite guy, win, lose, or draw, you get the rub. Some of it rubs off on you. Like,
exactly.
So that's why I'm excited to see you fight again too.
I'm so excited to compete again, but let's see who it's gonna be.
Well, let's hope this podcast gets the wheels turning.
We planted some seeds. Jim.
Yeah, maybe His
That's what we did.
Excellency will hear this and he'll decide that it's time to go. And
I'll call you right after, yo, Joe. It happened. Thanks, we did it.
That would make me very happy if we somehow or another motivated them to get back to the negotiation table.
But just let's make an agreement now. Let's just make sure you're gonna be there then.
What was the last conversation you guys had about it?
I think a week ago, week and a half ago. But
What'd they
it
say?
was more of a general conversation. Hey,
Right.
we're looking at what's next. So,
And what did you say to them? Did you say rematch?
of course,
And what did they say?
like but you need two parties for that. I said, I know. Make it happen.
Yeah,
So-
you gotta roll up to Usyk's house with the Brinks truck. Just back that thing up. Beep, beep,
Exactly.
beep. Get the arm guards, open the door, show them all the gold. That's maybe.
And then my name and my face on it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I mean,
But
I
put it
think-
in first.
I think that's the fight, and I hope you get it. I really do. But either way, your performance was extraordinary, and you've had a fucking incredible career, man. You should be
appreciate you,
proud.
Joe. Yeah,
you
I
really
am super thankful.
incredible career in kickboxing. Greatest heavyweight kickboxer of all time.
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much. I really appreciate that. And it's not just for me being here, sitting here now, because I've been seeing you and hearing you talk about it for years already. So, like I said, it really, really, really means the world coming from you, because you're an expert. You look at everything, you see everything, the different organizations, so you know where to place certain guys, and from history and from now. So it means the world. Thank you so much.
My
man.
pleasure, brother. It's
Thank
an
you so
honor,
much.
an honor to have you.
And
here.
again, thank you so much again for being here. So it's been a while, but we're back.
Well, I had to reach out after the fight. I was like, oh my God, we got to do this. We got to talk.
100%.
'Cause I was like, holy shit, man. I reached out immediately. I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck? You had it. Oh.
Yeah, I saw the episode you guys did about it. You were
Yeah.
talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I know.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
But
no, it
listen,
was good.
brother, congratulations on everything. And I really, really, really hope you
Thank
get that
so much,
rematch.
man. Good seeing you, brother.
Good seeing you too, sir. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.